Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. What's good with you? It's your boy JB here, and we are here for the Hall of Fame game here in 2026, guys. It's that time of the year already here. And so we've got the Panthers and the Cardinals for this one here. So I'm excited for this one here. Football preseason, that means football back. That's enough for JB here in day one. But let JB know how you've been and how's it going. And again, thinking of the players here in today's Hall of Fame matchup and just, some of the guys there, I remember obviously watching a guy like Larry Fitzgerald spent his entire career with the Arizona Cardinals to see guys like him up there. Luke Kuechly, who played with the Carolina Panthers and such. And Drew Brees, I mean, you talk about a quarterback that was accurate throughout his career. Drew Brees, he was him. And so, man, just a lot of familiar faces up there, honestly. All right, let me take a look at the chat here. All right, and again, feel free to comment in the chat section and let JB know what are your thoughts for this upcoming season here. Do any of these teams stand out on your radar for potentially a surprise team here? How do you feel about where the Arizona Cardinals are at right now? You look at their offseason here. They gave Jacoby Brissett the money that they gave him. Obviously just paying him more for this season. Clearly it's a 1-year win so there, but for him, he'll take the increase in pay for sure. He's been a journeyman and last year kind of felt like home for him. We'll see if Jacoby Brissett can pick up where he left off at. Again, we won't see him, but we will see Carson Beck here for the Cardinals for the first time since that national championship game in which he lost to Indiana, but he did lead the Hurricanes to the championship game. And so for that, he's pretty stoked to be out there in that field there and just play some football. All right, let's see. All right, so I can see the comments here. Let's see. So Mr. JV says, welcome back. So JV says, what's good? Laney, what's good with you? How are you? And Laney says, hey, JV, just wanted to say hello and I'll be back after my walk. We'll have a great long walk there, Laney, and it is great to see you. It is great to see you. Looking forward to catching up. And we've got Phoenix in the building. Phoenix, what's good? What's good? Oh man, and I appreciate you guys coming through here. And just a heads up, if JB looks a little lost right now, I've actually created this here site that we're looking at here. So I'm trying to get used to the chat box right now. I see that the live chat box is not updating on the screen there. So I've got a couple bugs to work through on the website. So, give me some time. Hopefully by the regular season, everything will be up and functioning. So I'll have to check out with you guys from my phone until I get that figured out there. But hey, glad to have you guys back. What have you guys been up to this off season, this summer? I mean, it's been hot, it's been rainy, it's been a lot. Samuel, what's good? Samuel, we gotta catch up, Samuel. We gotta catch up. I heard from Zoe that you were actually on his stream and you got to say a couple words there, Samuel. So definitely would love to hear about that. And man, how's it been? And Samuel says, hey, what's up, bro? Long time. Yes, a long time, man. It's been forever since we've had football. JB misses it for sure. Laney says, good to see you too. Appreciate that. Yes, and we look at all these guys here, just to make it to the Hall of Fame, like that means you didn't just make it to the league, but you left a lasting impact to the league. I mean, it really feels like yesterday where we were talking about, Larry Fitzgerald on the field, Drew Brees. I remember Drew Brees, his last couple years there, him, with the Saints, Brady with the Buccaneers. Feels like just yesterday. And to see these guys already, you know, here we are, Hall of Fame introduction here. This is what you play for to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And again, just for anyone watching here, yes, this is a different setup here for JB. So just working through some stuff here um, for this website here. So this will be a work in progress that will only get better as time goes on. Let's see. And Patricia says, welcome back, JB. It's a shout out to you. Thank you so much. It's been a long time. I think what was the last game that I ended up live streaming earlier this year? Oh man, I can't remember. Was it the national championship game? Was that the last one, or was there? I feel like there was probably another an NFL game that I finished, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back. So I know for the Carolina Panthers, for Carolina, we won't see no Bryce Young in this one, but we will see Kenny Pickett for the Carolina Panthers in this one here. So if that name sounds familiar, Kenny Pickett was a first round draft pick out of the University of Pittsburgh by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans probably want to forget him. It went that bad. But he's been a journeyman. He has definitely found opportunities here. And the backup position, you've got to be that guy that's ready to come in there. So we're going to see what this looks like here for Carolina. Carolina will get the football first. Arizona is lining up to kick off the ball. All right, so now let me switch the setup here. Okay. All right, perfect. So now we've got the kickoff and the kick return here by the Panthers all the way to the 25-yard line, and football is officially back, guys. So now we're going to see Kenny Pickett and the Carolina Panthers here offensively. I'm going to be looking to see, does he take some opportunities down the field? I feel like with Kenny Pickett, he's one of those get the ball out quickly, throw it short type of guys there. But he was a first round draft pick back in 2022. Spent 4 years in the league here, so there's got to be some development on his side here. Let's see what that looks like here today for this one. So opening drive of the game. Got one back in the backfield here. Tight end goes in motion from their own 25-yard line, fakes to the back. Pickett throws it short, caught by the receiver. And look at them fight for those extra yards. They're going to pick up a good 6 yards on the reception there. That's going to make it second down. Coming up here, 2nd and 4. And for the Carolina Panthers, yards after the catch, that's going to be everything. Regardless who's in there at quarterback, you're not going to see too many deep balls there, but you will see these playmakers have to make plays after the catch to get those yards. Let's see. All right, so here we go. Pickett throws it, and it's completed. Short pass, and he will not get to the first down marker. Matter of fact, he is thrown down by the defense here. So we're going to see a third and short situation. But you know what? If you're Carolina offensively, that's exactly what you want to see. Third and short there. Now you have that option to hand the ball off and get physical for the first down. So let's see, can they get the first down of the NFL season here? All right, let's see. 3rd and 1 here for Carolina out of the shotgun formation. And Kenny gets brought down for the sack. So he was going to try to find some room to run there. Excellent job there by the Arizona Cardinals defensive front to break down that pocket and bring him down for the sack. And so now that is going to bring out the punter for the first time this NFL season. And we miss football if we're at the point where we're excited about a punter being out there, guys. So just like that, I thought that they would have went ahead and run the ball, but hey, it is the preseason here. You get away from your tendencies and see situational football. That's what it's really about here. So punt unit here, 4th and 7 for the Carolina Panthers. Let's see if we're going to get a return here by the Arizona Cardinals. Again here in the first quarter, 12 minutes and 50 seconds to go. And it's caught from the 16-yard line. The 20 brought down at about the 23-yard line. All right, let's see. So Mr. JV says, what is this game on? So this game is on NBC. So you should be able to get it on NBC or Peacock. I believe NBC or Peacock, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm watching from YouTube TV, but I believe that's where the game is, NBC or Peacock. All right, so now the Arizona Cardinals here. So Carson Beck, again, if you watch college football, you remember the Miami Hurricanes. He was their quarterback. Prior to last year, he was also at the University of Georgia as well. So he knows a little something about big time football. Throws it, and look how quickly he gets the football out for the completion there. Now that's going to be a pickup of about a good 3, 4 yards there on the reception there. But you got to like it because right now, if you're the Cardinals there, you want him processing quickly, get the football out quickly. Don't hold the ball, don't test the offensive line too much. That's what you want. Get the ball out quickly. All right, one back in the backfield, this time back up under center here. Multiple tight ends, two receivers on the play from around 27-yard line. Heads to the back off the right side, and he's going to get brought down at the 30-yard line there. So that's going to be a pickup of 3 yards on the carry. And now Arizona will be faced with a third and short. And you see Jacoby Brissett there on the sideline. I mean, I remember Jacoby Brissett when he first came into the NFL. He was drafted by the New England Patriots there. He had connections with Bill Parcells, actually. That's why Bill Belichick drafted Jacoby Brissett there. And he came in there and he's had, a storied career. You guys might not remember, but he was Andrew Luck's replacement the year that Andrew Luck retired. So he's made quite the career for himself. Meanwhile, Carson Beck took off, scrambled, got the first down. And I like how quickly on his opening drive, Carson Beck is processing the plays here. Don't wait. This is the preseason. You're not going to have the best offensive line. So if you can get that first down by moving, by all means, do it. And most importantly, protect yourself. That's something that young quarterbacks do not seem to understand all the time is to get down and avoid taking the big unnecessary hits. Because these guys, hey, they got a lot to fight for, a lot of these guys. Back up under center, hands to the back up the middle, fighting forward, brought down at about the 38-yard line, 37-yard line of the Arizona Cardinals. Again, this is their first opening offensive drive here of the game. And let's see if this can result in some points. And that is Knight in the backfield, number 20 for Arizona. Now, if you're the Cardinals there, you know the Cardinals coming into this season, they drafted Jeremiah Love. You're not going to see him tonight, their Hall of Fame game. That's just not going to happen. They picked up Tyler Algier. James Conner's recovering from an injury right now. So they got some running backs. All right, throws it, gets the completion there to his tight end. And that's going to be a pickup of about 3 more yards. So now we're looking at 3rd and 4 here in the first quarter with about a good 10 minutes and 24 seconds to go. And so, Kenneth, what's good with you? How are you? And Kenneth says, hey, Mr. JV, how is everyone doing tonight? And so, Kenneth, I'm glad there is football. Kenneth, JV is in great spirits with there being football tonight. How have things been for you? Meanwhile, quick pass there, incomplete. Incomplete. Dropped by the receiver, Brooks there. Excellent coverage there by Carolina. But that time, Beck threw the ball, gave his receiver a chance. If you're the receiver there, you have got to be able to hold on to it. But let me check the replay there, see if maybe the defender got a hand on it or not. Nah, you got to catch that. You got to catch that. You're a receiver here. You're trying to make an impact there. That's a ball you got to catch. He tried to catch it with his body as opposed to extending his hands there. 4th down coming up for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, both teams have had the football offensively, getting those, pregame jitters out the way. And oh, what a nice punt. And it goes out of bounds at about the 2.5-yard mark. Give that punter some credit right there. To pin them inside the 5 the way he did, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. And if you believe the projections, they're going to need a lot of punts like that this season, if you believe the projections here. But hey, you guys let me know what are your predictions for each of these teams this season. Let me know that. And also feel free to go ahead and on the poll, in which let me make sure the poll is up and running here. And again, if you see that JB makes some mistakes here, it's because I'm using a different platform that I created myself, and it's still in the process of being created. So trying to figure out myself what is actually working that I created and what is not. There's a lot of bugs that I have to work through on my end. All right, let's see. Samuel says, "Why? What happened?" You say, your team lost the game to the Super Bowl." And so, oh man, Samuel. Oh, Samuel, talking about the Super Bowl, man. That was tough for JV. That was tough for JV. But I mean, against the Seattle Seahawks, though, in the Super Bowl, I came in there knowing that there was a good chance that Seattle, that they were definitely on paper the better team, and our offense had not looked good in the postseason. So JV was along the ride of, hey, I'm happy that this young team that nobody expected to do anything not only made the playoffs but made it to the Super Bowl. Would have been great to win it though. Really would have been great to win it there, but that was more so me being hopeful and optimistic than thinking that realistically that was going to happen. But some people didn't have us getting that far, so. JB will take it. Let's see. Kenneth says, been busy with friends and family, and we all been waiting to see you. And what took time for you to get back? And so, yeah, Kenneth, it took some time there. It took some time there. But hey, I'm glad to be back. I am glad to be back. And I did miss everyone. I was so excited for this stream there. I did miss everyone. I just can't believe we've got football back. Like, that's big time. All right, again, currently right now we are awaiting the return to the action here for today's Hall of Fame game. And of all the players inducted into the Hall of Fame, like who are some of y'all favorite players from the class that's been inducted today that you guys have fond memories of? If it's everybody inducted, then say everybody, but let JB know who are some of your favorite players that was inducted this year. All right, Carolina with the football. Now they're deep within their own territory at their own 2.5 yard line. Can he pick it up under center? Hands it to the running back, and the running back's going to get stuffed. Now, this will not be a safety, but he's going to be at the 1 yard line. Man, Arizona's defense line is getting after it. These guys are hungry. Look at that. The center lost that battle big time. All right, so we've got 2nd and 12 coming up, but there was an injury there. And that was number 90 because his own teammate knocked the center down. And when the center was falling, the center fell into his leg. So I know he's frustrated right now. You're telling me Hall of Fame game here, second drive, and already he's got to come out due to an injury for that. Yeah, they're not too happy when somebody falls in your leg like that. But 2nd and 12 here, and Carolina's going to go 5 wide here. Kenny Pickett looking, throws it over the middle, incomplete, incomplete. And that's going to make it 3rd and 12 coming up. So if you're Carolina, you at least want to get a first down here. Like you don't want to have to punt this deep from your own territory. You want to get a first down. All right, and I've got the poll question up for you guys in terms of who's going to have the better season this year, Carolina or Arizona. You guys let JB know. I know what the experts think, but you guys let JB know. All right, so we got a false start here against Carolina, as if they can go backwards anymore. All right, so we've got 3rd and 12. And so Kenny dunks it deep, but it's incomplete. His receiver never had a chance. But wait a minute, there's a flag. Did the referee just bail him out? Look at Bryce Young. Even he knows that's not a real flag. Look at him. All right, let me see. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I mean, basically the DB's over there trying to dance with him at this point. You didn't have to do it. All you had to do was play coverage. You did not have to do it. Kenny was not going to hit him on that pass. I have no idea what the defensive back was doing here. Like, it's the preseason. Go out there and play some football. All right, but thanks to that penalty there, that bails Carolina out. Now from their own 32-yard line, shotgun formation here. And they're going to run the ball on the inside off the right guard. Going to pick up about 2 yards on the play. Right. All right. Kenny Pickett in the pocket, throws it short, gets the completion here. And oh, thanks to forward progress, he probably back at the line of scrimmage, but there is a penalty here. And that looks like that was Etienne, the brother of Travis Etienne, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so holding penalty, going to decline that. All right, so we got a 3rd and 9 again here in the first quarter with about 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go. And right now it is still 0-0 right now. Panthers with the football looking to make a play. Kenny Pickett throws it, gets the completion there, and that's going to be a pickup of about 6 yards on the play, but still well short of the first down marker. So far, it's been all defense so far in this one. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And again, Carolina, they made the playoffs last year. Can they repeat again this year? Is the question. All right, punt on the way. And will this be another excellent punt here? Oh, excellent job here as they secure it at about the 2 yard line there. Excellent job there by the Carolina special teams there. So now Arizona will be pinned deep. So they flip fields on the Cardinals. All right, so we are at the commercial now. Again, remember to cast your vote and let me know who's going to have the better season this year. Let's see. Right, and again at the commercial here, score still 0-0 here. Both teams trying to find something offensively, but special teams has been good. Special teams has been good. Defenses getting after it. I like what I'm seeing from the Cardinals defensive line, especially in this one. So this is JB back here. Sorry about that. We had some extreme weather stuff going on around here. So hopefully the power will stay stable here. But JB was fighting to get back live, and so here I am. So it seems that I've actually missed a touchdown that took place here by the Arizona Cardinals, it looks like. So a lot of things happened while I was out. But again, JB is back. So hopefully that the worst is behind us. All right, let me just go ahead and check the chat here, see if I'm still live. All right, let's see. All right, so I see Mr. JB in the chat here, and he says, unlock to tell my phone trying to get back in touch with you. And so let me see. All right, so can anybody see me live here right now? All right, let's see. Kenneth, let's see. Kenneth says you don't know. No man did for the cancer pit. You know what, Kenneth? I seen something like that, man. That was crazy. Appreciate the thumbs up there, Samuel. We are back in business, guys. So apologize about that. Right now, it is thundering like crazy outside there. So that's what took place there. Was temporary. It knocked out the internet for a little bit there. So, but that being said, JB's back, and I'm hoping that that means that the worst is behind us there. Fingers crossed. Nothing like that happens again there on my end there. But JB is good. Okay, so Mr. JB says you can see me. Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys there. So what did I miss? How did the Arizona Cardinals end up scoring that touchdown? If anybody can fill me in real quick. Meanwhile, Kenny Pickett play fake, throws it to his receiver. Oh, look at that space there. See, that's exactly what they want there. And that is Mechie the third. If I'm not mistaken, that is former Houston Texan, former Alabama Crimson Tide Mechie there with the reception. I forgot he signed with Carolina this offseason. All right, let's see. Kenneth says it's raining here where you are at. So it's raining for you too, Kenneth? Yeah, it's a little crazy over here. Kenny Pickett completed. All right, so they've got the ball at about the 31-yard line of the Arizona Cardinals. So right now, Carolina, Arizona side of the football right now here. So they would love to match the touchdown that Arizona scored, touchdown for touchdown if possible. All right, so let me go ahead and change my screen here. It should not be saying be right back. So, all right, there we go. All right, so 2nd and 6 here for the Carolina Panthers. And Kenny Pickett feeling a rush, shakes it off, throws it on the run. It's incomplete. That was a tight window he was trying to throw it into, but good job just getting away from the defense that time. I thought they had him for another sack, honestly. And we're here in the second quarter, 12 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Cardinals up 7-0. Carolina facing a 3rd and 6. Let's see. Mr. JB says University of Miami quarterback had a lot to do with that touchdown. Did he now? Did he? Did he make like a big pass or something? And let's see, Kenneth says, how's the wife? The wife is doing good. Yes, she is doing good right now. Absolutely. I'll let her know that you asked about her. All right, on 3rd and 6, Kenny throws it, gets the completion there to the big fella, knocked down at about the 22-yard line. So they are 22 yards away from the end zone. Can they tie it up here in the second quarter? So again, Kenny making his reads here, throws it, and got that nice completion there. And just a heads up there, the next game that JV is going to be doing is going to be next week, the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That will be the game that JB will be streaming next for the Hall of Fame official week one. Meanwhile, Kenny throws it incomplete. I thought Kenny had that one. I thought that was going to be a completion there, but it's incomplete. Mitchell was the intended target on the play, incomplete. So again, 2nd and 10 here. And look at that coverage there. I mean, that was okay, the DB did get a hand on the football there, but that was pretty good placement there by Kenny Pickett. Just an excellent job there by the DB to get a hand on that one. That was going to be a touchdown. Let's see, Samuel says, you're a big fan. You're so sad, K, for NASCAR. Yes, that's right. Kyle Busch passed away, 41 years old. Yes, that was extremely sad there, Samuel. Short pass, completed, and he's rumbling to the 5-yard line, gets brought down. Is that A.J. Dillon? Do my eyes deceive me, or is that A.J. Dillon? That is A.J. Dillon, the Boston College product there. Spent last season with, I think it was with the Eagles last year, but prior to that, the Green Bay Packers. And so A.J. Dillon, nice physical runner there. They're going to hand it to him, and he's going to plow forward. I love when a running back, a physical running back, falls forward when he's tackled, and that's exactly what we're seeing from a guy like A.J. Dillon. That's a big running back, someone like him. Now, he's been banged up the last couple of years dealing with injuries, but when he first came into the league, he was getting some carries behind Aaron Jones for the Packers. All right, second and goal. And that's going to be a touchdown. There was never any doubt. I think we could have scored a touchdown. Everybody a part of the JV community could have gotten to the end zone that time behind that offensive line. Great job that time winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. And that drive, 10 plays, 67 yards, that ends in a touchdown for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, look at that. He barely was touched. That crease across the middle. That's what I dream of as a former running back, to be able to score a touchdown that easy. I mean, you've got no choice but to follow the hole in that case. And now for the extra point to tie it up and make it 7-7. All right, let's see. All right, so it's 7-7, and I'm just realizing right now that the background um scoreboard has not updated on my end. So let me see if I can fix that. Let's see. Kenneth says, my friend does other stuff. He has his own channel. It's called Tim Rhino's Show. Okay, what other kind of stuff does he do? Let's see. Samuel says you have a shirt named Kyle Bush. And so you got a shirt there, Samuel? Oh, that's great. That is great. Let's see. Mr. JB says, get big, ride second screen in there. And so, yes. And so now that we're all tied up 7-7 here, we've got ourselves a game here for this preseason, for this Hall of Fame game here tonight. And although my scoreboard is not reflecting it for some reason, it is 7-7. Okay, let's see. All right, so I guess my scoreboard wants me to manually update it for right now until I figure out why it's not automatically updating, but hey, that's fine. And just like that, it disappeared. Not good. All right, and again, JV's just, using his own website here, so there's going to be a lot of bugs here, but we will work through them. Hopefully the scoreboard stays the way I have it right now. Okay. All right, and we are currently here at the commercial. So I changed the score, but not sure why it's not updating. All right, let's see. Sammy says, in your video, freight train video, Vicksburg, Mississippi, there. So you got another one up, Samuel? I got to check it out. I got to be sure to check it out. All right, kickoff on the way. See if we get a return here by the Cardinals. And we will not get a return here. There's a penalty. Let's see. Kenneth says WWE, NASCAR, and baseball and football and college football and basketball. That's a lot to cover. That's a lot to cover there. Your friend stays busy. Stays busy. And yeah, Adam Vinatieri in the Hall of Fame. Tremendous kicker. I mean, obviously, as a Patriots fan, what he has done for my team, I mean, the perfect kicker, especially back in the day. Absolutely. Now, Carson Beck, play fake. Carson Beck, heaving it up there, has a man. Oh, what a cat. Oh, man, all through the hit. Okay. You love to see it. You love to see it. He stepped up, threw that ball with confidence, and the receiver knew he was going to get hit, but Brooks held on to that one. Now, there's a penalty. Let's see what the referee's got to say there. All right, that's going to be declined there. That was against the defense, anyways, there. So, man, Evans, you better tighten up, man. You better tighten up because you got beat on that one. I mean, look at the DB. What is he doing? He got beat. And then a big time hit there. And it says, look at your community page there. And so, okay, bet. Yeah, JB's gonna check it out there. I'm gonna try to check it out at halftime, especially. All right, another carry here for the Cardinals. Here, so the Cardinals, they scored in their last possession, and now they are looking to see if they can score a touchdown again here. So both teams have figured out how to score here. So we got some offense in this one here. That makes me happy. I came into this one concerned it wasn't going to be a lot of offense, but right now we're seeing a lot of offense. That makes JB happy. But Carson Beck. Some people believe that Carson Beck could be the quarterback of the future for the Cardinals. I mean, they are hoping that this turns out to be one of those situations like it was when you think about Russell Wilson's rookie year. He was a third round draft pick. He came in, won the starting job there, and never looked back there. And some good things happened for Seattle with him at quarterback. Cardinals are hoping that Carson Beck can do something similar. Now, that time felt the pressure there. Did the good thing, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Live to see another down. Oh, man, look at all that blood on my man there. Right, and if you're looking at JV's scoreboard right now, it seems to be a glitch right now that I'm gonna have to fix at a later time. Every time I manually try to fix it, it keeps going back. Let's see, Mr. JV says you get a lot of points when the University of Miami is involved. We'll see about that. All right, so again, here's second quarter, 9 minutes and 42 seconds to go, all tied up, 7-7, third and four right now for the Cardinals. Beck looking, Beck throws one up there, and that's gonna be caught for a touchdown, Cardinals. And so Arizona, back-to-back touchdown drives. How about that? And Carson Beck threw it on the money. Arizona might just have something, guys. You guys let JB know they might just have something. See. Sammy said you asked if you can be a mod there for the channel, Samuel. You know what, Samuel? I gotta make sure that I do update that for you there and promote you there. Just give JB a minute to to go through the YouTube settings for that, Samuel. So it should be set up by the next time we go live. But definitely remind me, especially before this stream is over, to go ahead and give you that mod promotion there, Samuel. Most definitely. So I'm gonna try to go ahead. I might even try to see if I can figure it out before the stream is over there for you, Samuel. see. Let's see. Laney, welcome back. Welcome back. How was the walk? I'll tell you what, though. Apparently, these bots have missed JB as well because they are hitting hard today. All right, so no return here for the Carolina Panthers. And let's see, can Carolina match this energy? Three touchdowns, last three drives that we've seen here for these two teams combined. So can Carolina offensively keep that going? That is the question. Samuel says, good, okay, JB. And so, yeah, I would do it right now, actually, Samuel, but JB is a little rusty right now. It's been about half a year since JB has actually done anything here. So I got to just remember how to go through and set that and make that happen. So that's the only reason I haven't already just went ahead and did that. All right, 1st and 10. Oh, look at that run. Nice run there by A.J. Dillon. Picks up about a good 14 yards on the carry. And if he can get rumbling in that backfield, that'd be great. Now, obviously, if you're Carolina this year, you've got, Hubbard returning there, and then Brooks, at the backfield. That's going to be the X factor there for Carolina. Can he live up to the hype for what they were expecting when they got him a couple years, like 2 years ago out of Texas, I believe? Because he was what, hurt most of all last year, if I'm not mistaken. So big time. Mike, Mike, what's good? Oh, look at that. Incomplete. Those are the passes you got to complete there. But man, Mike, how are you? And Mike says, how excited was I when the Patriots got AJ Brown? Honestly, Mike, I felt relieved because Patriot Nation was already acting like the deal was done months before the deal was actually completed. So I kept trying to, keep myself grounded and be like, okay, like if I don't think about it too much, it's gonna go through, they're not gonna try to cancel the trade. The Rams are not gonna come back and try to acquire him and stuff. But when he became a Patriot, I was like, oh, we legit. We legit, you know. We're definitely better than we were last year. I just don't know if record-wise if it's gonna reflect it, but team-wise, we are for sure better. Especially having AJ Brown. You've got a dog now out there at that wide receiver one spot, So hey, I'm thrilled. But tell me, Mike, how do you feel about DJ Moore joining the Buffalo Bills? How do you feel about that? All right, pass completed. And let's see. Laney says, good, but hot. You say you usually don't go till like 7:45 or 8. And so, hey, it's been crazy around here. Like every single day here in Georgia, I wake up and I look and it's like rainy forecast, but it's hot all the time. Like it's been the weather report has been saying it's gonna rain basically almost every day of the week the past month, month and a half at this point. I think at this point they're just like, look, there's a chance it could rain. We're just gonna guess, but hey, it is raining outside today, so they're not all wrong. All right, 2nd and 6 here for Carolina. Throws one up there. Oh, incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. But I like the fact that Kenny is taking shots here. I do like that fact. And let's see, Mike says Moore is a step up from last year, but I never thought he was a number one in Carolina. Ooh, there you go. I'll tell you what, Mike, I'll tell you what. I would take AJ Brown every day of the week over someone like DJ Moore. Matter of fact, DJ Moore, I'm not even sure I want him on my fantasy football team to keep it a buck with you. I think he'll have some moments, but not what I'm going to need on my fantasy football team this year. Quick pass, completed. Let's see. Mike says, we'll be around more coming up, so hope you keep streaming it. So, oh, for sure, for sure. And so I know that right now, like the stuff that I have up for the stream, nothing's working the way that JB planned for it to work, but that's okay because this was built from scratch from JB a couple weeks ago. So I tried to get a lot of features built, and there's a lot of bugs with these features here. The scoreboard right now is not updating, and which is the first time I'm live, so there was no way for me to really test it prior to going live to see that it was going to accurately update it or not. So that's why the scoreboard is not reflecting it. It's not even showing the time, I noticed as well. The ticker is just showing this game, not the other streams that I have set up. So right now there's a lot of bugs there. The live chat is supposed to be showing the comment section also, but these are stuff that JB is going to be working on because I've got some big ideas for the channel. Like JB's really been brainstorming and stuff. But I'm not going to right now drop the link for the website yet for you guys. But once it is at least a lot less bugs, I will drop it in the future so you guys will, be able to check it out. And it'll be a way for us to really stay connected as a community, moving forward there. Again, I do have just the basics of creating the account, like the profile and stuff available, but JB's got a whole like to-do list for the channel. So JB's got a vision now. So that's the difference. All right, let's see. Mike says, "Well, let's see." You say, "Oh, hey, I can be a top three. More is maybe a number one, late number one. You think he'll go that early, late number one?" Meanwhile, Carolina gets the first down there. Excellent job. And again, they are moving and grooving here in the second quarter with 6 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Let's see. Let's see. Mike says you need a front lighting. Not sure. And so, yeah, that's another thing as well. That's another thing as well, for sure. Let's see, you say, dang, JB, what state did you say you were in? 4:30. Okay, now the 4:30 part, I have no idea where that came from because I had checked it several times this week. And oh, look at that. That's a touchdown for Carolina. They said, check that, JB. And so I tell you what, tell me this, Mike. I know you have a thing for Bryce Young in terms of like secondary, like teams and stuff like that with Carolina. What's your confidence level with this Carolina offense? Can they pick up? Because there were moments they had last year where they really did step up and stuff like that, especially later in the season. So tell me, where do you stand with Carolina as a whole this year for this upcoming season? But yeah, I mean, this is the first time I seen it showing like 4:59 p.m. Like it went crazy. Like I kid you not. Earlier this week, everything was looking good, and then everything started bugging out on me, Mike. So that's why that was the case there. But I didn't want to risk messing up anything that was going to prevent me from at least being able to go live today. So far, the only thing that's really working is the subscriber button up there, like that shows us how many subscribers we have. And even that one I had to manually type in. So it's not, tracking like it's supposed to if somebody were to join. So it's a lot of things right now that's making JB feel like what's going on. All right, but at least the poll question, that's working fine. But if I try to put the stats up there, that part's not working, I realized. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. So best believe JB's gonna be busy this weekend trying to make some changes before the next stream. But that being said, now JB's next live stream, if you want to come through next week, Wednesday, it's supposed to be when me, Zoe, Old Man, and Travis, we all go live for our weekly talk show. This will be the first one that we have. Now, we won't be doing the picks yet because it's preseason, but we will be talking football there. And this will be the first time that, Travis will be starting with us the entire season. He came on the last stream that we did for our talk show, and Old Man is going to be available on Wednesday, so that's why we're doing it Wednesday this year. So it's going to be a four-man panel, for this upcoming season. So I'm excited for that. Again, JB's got big visions, man, big visions. It's just going to take a little time to build out because JB's got to get credits, use the credits, build out this website even more. I don't like the colors right now. It feels like it's too dark of a background. So I got to make sure I change that also for this. But yeah, JB's been putting in some work. I've invested probably at least a good 20 hours towards this website if I had to estimate minimum just to get it to this point. Let's see. Matter of fact, give JB a second here. All right, let's see. All right, so here we go. Let me see if I can actually do something real quick. All right, let's see. And let's see. Mr. JB says, "Old man, don't say hi no more." Old man be busy, I do. I talked with old man this week most recently, and so old man's just been busy with work and stuff. But hey, old man's gonna find a way to get after those Buffalo Bill fans. Believe it. But old man is doing pretty good. So old man is good. Zoe is doing great. I know Zoe is probably live also right now, if memory serves me right. So everybody's doing good. Speaking of doing good, what a good game. 14-14 is our score right now. And just like that, the right tackle moved. That's going to be a false start. And with just a preseason game, you're going to see a lot of that happen. All right, so I am trying to see. Okay, so I don't see my comment up there. Interesting. So my own comment doesn't make it into the thing. That's crazy. All right, so I'm going to unfeature. Okay, so yeah, and I'm just over here testing to see what features also are not working that should be working there. All right, so here we go. Second and 15. Carson Beck throws it. Oh, what a nice throw. He may not have got 15. He probably got 14 yards, but that was an excellent throw and a nice catch. Carson Beck is firing that ball, and he's looking good out there. All right, so give JB a second here. All right, so right now inside the chat here, I'm going to drop the link here. Again, that's if you want to check out the link there. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is not a complete link. JB's got some projects pointed out. Like this is probably going to be something over the next 2 years that I continue to improve upon there. But I did go ahead and drop the link there for anyone that is interested in checking it out. And if you don't mind, let me know when you go through it. If you click anything and it doesn't work, or if something feels, odd and stuff like that, just let me know. Could be a bug that needs to be fixed there. But this is, what JB has been working on so far, in addition to what we're seeing right now. So if you go through the link there, make your profile and stuff like that, you'll continue to see updates. And then the goal is by the time we hit the regular season, you guys will be able to join me for our weekly picks through this platform here and some other features as well that's listed on the website as well. So feel free to check it out, but keep in mind it's not a complete product, but feedback helps me know what's not working that's supposed to be working. And again, it's in the chat right now for anybody interested in checking it out. All right, for the Cardinals, Another run play and another nice carry on the ground here. Picked up about a good 6 yards here. And again, let me know if you guys are trying to, or do you guys not have, I guess, the option to select the teams between the Cardinals and Panthers? If that's not showing up either, then yeah, that is definitely a bug also. Oh, nice run. Still on his feet. He lost the ball. He lost the ball. So just like that, you make the nice run and then you fumble the rock. Now let's see, was he up? Did he Oh, that ball was knocked out. Oh man, you got to secure the ball. That is the number one thing you have to do as a running back here is secure the football. You know, as a running back, you don't have to be the most explosive player on the field. I remember years ago, back with the Patriots when we had Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis. And if there's one thing I can say about him is that he never fumbled the football. There was nothing special about his game. He wasn't going to break away from a tackle. He wasn't going to pick up 5 yards. He's going to pick up maybe three and a half at best, but he was not going to fumble that ball. So you knew exactly what you were going to get. Give him the ball 20 something times, he's going to get you about 80, 90 yards for the game and maybe even fall into the end zone. But when you have a running back that's going to fumble the ball, he will not last long. I mean, you have to be a superstar to overcome something like that. And he's already in a crowded situation down there in Arizona with plenty of running backs right now. Let's see. Samuel says on May 6, 2026, you say a violent long track EF3 tornado struck south central Mississippi, moving through Medville, Mississippi, and Boone, Mississippi, roughly 50 miles per hour. Man, that's strong there, Samuel. And prompting a rare PDS tornado emergency. Oh, man, that's insane. That is insane. Like, those are situations that you pray that you never end up in, honestly, to be in a situation like that, where you're face to face with something moving that fast and that strong. All right, first and 10 here for the Cardinals. Beck up under center, and Beck has been moving the ball here. He's at the 21-yard line of Carolina, thanks to the fumble and stuff. So now it's going to be another handoff here and picks up a good 4 yards there on the carry. Second down coming up, but it is the 2-minute warning here. So we got 2 minutes before we get to halftime here, guys. All right, let's see. So stats are not working either. Yeah, nothing's basically working here. All right, let's see. Samuel says, in your hometown hit by a tornado? Let me see. Again, it feels a little weird right now having to keep looking down at my phone like this just to see the comment section. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. All right, Samuel, let me see. You should have got the promotion now, Samuel. So I guess the next time that you put something out, see if it recognizes you as a mod now. All right, and if anybody did actually click into the link, let JB know as well, because feedback is what's going to help JB figure out the quickest what is not working. And if you do see something that you do happen to like in there, let JB know that as well. But here we go, 2nd and 6 from the 17-yard line of the Carolina Panthers right now. Carolina, will they bring pressure? The run play, and we're going to pick up about a good 2 yards on the carry. So you got a 3rd down coming up here. But yeah, Carson Beck has looked good in this one. At halftime, I'll have to check and see what his stats are exactly, but it's got to be good. Let's see, he's 11 of 14 for 148 yards and a touchdown. So check out Carson Beck, giving the Cardinals something to look at. 3rd and 4, Beck on the move. Beck brought down for the sack. So Carolina said that's enough. They said you can't beat us if you can't throw it. So brought down there. Excellent job there. I would think Carolina's going to call a timeout to try to preserve some time. And so, oh, that's Haynes King from Georgia Tech that's quarterbacking right now for the Carolina Panthers. I forgot Carolina had him at this point. Now, King is known for using his legs now. That's no problem. He will move it. But to see him throw, that's what I'm interested in seeing. All right, so Chad Ryland coming in for the 35-yard field goal attempt here for the Arizona Cardinals, attempting to break the tie. And it is good, 17-14. So Arizona saw some good things there, but ultimately coming up with the field goal because on 3rd down, that pass rush got to Carson back there for the sack. Let's see. Mike says Beck has looked good. And so, yeah, Mike Beck has looked tremendous in this one. And you know what? Carson Beck's situation. Now, I'm not saying, style for style, but Carson Beck's situation is very similar to what we saw with Russell Wilson when he was drafted into the NFL. Let me remind you guys the situation. At that time, Seattle they had just signed, I think it was Matt Flynn, if I'm not mistaken, at the time to potentially be the quarterback between him. I think that Matt Flynn was the quarterback that they had brought in, and they paid him a good amount of money, just like Jacoby Brissett's been paid for Arizona. But Russell Wilson just outshined them in the preseason, just had that charisma about him at that time, and took the job and ran with it. I can see a situation where Carson Beck can do something similar like that. And honestly, if you're the Cardinals, that would be the best case scenario. Because we all know Jacoby Brissett is just a 1 year quarterback for this day and time right now. So we're gonna see. And Carson Beck has the maturity because he spent years at UGA before ever going to Miami and stuff like that. So he's been in big games, he's played in big games, he's elevated. Sure, he's had some down times there, but I feel like, he's one of those poised quarterbacks which really showed up for the Hurricanes last season. They're gonna miss his composure the most this year. The quarterback they got this year, though, pretty good from Duke, mobile quarterback there. But this kid right here, has a certain level of composure that you just don't get with talent alone to have this level of composure. As for Jonathan Brooks, Mike, no, I don't think no, Jonathan Brooks did not play in this one there, and I guess they're going to reserve him for a little bit later on before we get to see Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks is that X factor. If he lives up to the hype in terms of what he could be, best case scenario for the Carolina Panthers is that he goes in there and he becomes like a big play guy that essentially takes over the number one running back spot. Because if he takes the job from Hubbard, that means that he clearly went out there and lived up to the hype there. 'Cause so he's got that big play in him. It's just, will we ever get to see it, or will injuries be a theme? But I think if he can stay healthy, Mike, he can certainly do some things there. Let's see. And you say Bryce receiver. You talking about what's his name? Mechie? Yeah, Mechie had a couple like a reception earlier. I remember he made a reception earlier in this game, John Mechie, the third. So yeah, he made a catch earlier this game. Trying to think, did he make any more than just that one catch? But he made a nice catch. So I know he's playing, at least in this one, or has played. And so let's see. Samuel, welcome to the Mod Squad, Samuel. Everybody, Samuel just got the promotion there to a mod here. So congratulations, Samuel, for officially getting the title of mod here. And so I know that's been a goal for a minute there, Samuel, but this is your moment. It happened. You've been inducted into the JB Hall of Fame. Pass throws, and it's incomplete. Let's see. Mike says, my guess is the D will look at him on week one and he out for the year. And so, hey, he's someone that I'm keeping my eye on because he certainly will have every opportunity, because they really like him down there in Carolina. They really like him. And we saw last year, with the offensive line, what Rico Dowdle was able to do. Now Rico was a physical runner and stuff like that, completely different game. But Brooks has that it factor. The only limitations about him has been injuries, but they certainly can use someone like Brooks. And as the season goes on, I anticipate like probably after about 6, 7 games, you implement him as running back run if he has shown you some sparks so far that season. And so let's see. And he says, way to go, Samuel. And so, yeah, I mean, hey, y'all, Samuel was a guest on Zoe's stream and stuff this offseason. Samuel's been busy, y'all. He's been putting in work. So, just, I got to applaud him. I may not have been able to join that stream, but I did see a little bit of Zoe's, clips on Instagram, Samuel, that you were on the stream there. So, you know, big moves there, big moves. And of course, Samuel, of course, you certainly deserve it. You deserve it. All right, pass, and is it incomplete? All right, so we got third down coming up here. 53 seconds here before we reach halftime. And you know what, Mike? You know who I'm really curious to see, like if he will get another opportunity. I thought we would get to see him with the Ravens this past this upcoming preseason, but they already cut him. And that's the kid from Vanderbilt, Pavia, that we watched, what was it, 2 years ago they beat Bama. Last year he was so cocky that when he didn't win the Heisman, he took a shot at the Heisman winner and stuff like that. So Pavia was very cocky, which is why he did not get drafted, this past season. He should have really been more humble about it. But I was looking forward to seeing him in a little bit of preseason. I can't help but think that when I see a guy like, Haynes King out there quarterbacking for Carolina. I like to see somebody give the kid a chance, though. So incomplete. Again, 23 seconds left to go. And again, if you're tuning in and you're saying, JB, we can't see the score. Right now, the scoreboard is not functioning. JB's got to, work on fixing this because this website, again, built by JB. Invested some time in fixing it, but this is the first time I've been able to really go live and test it for real, for real. And yeah, a lot of functions that I really want working. As you can see, the statistics aren't working either. Just some bugs I got to fix on my end. So hopefully over the next couple of streams, it will start working. Throws it all by himself. He was all by himself. All by himself. Both of y'all will not be on this team if this continues. That's wide open. It don't get no more open than that. Not even at the high school level. Look at him. Look at him. 15 is all by himself there, and you can't throw a simple pass for 10 yards? What are we doing? Talk to him, Mike. Talk to him. The only person that's probably celebrating right now after that incompletion is most likely Lewis, because he most likely took the under, I'm pretty sure. Oh man, look at that pass rush. He just threw it up there. And he's lucky his guy did not pay the price for him just throwing it up there. Now there is a flag. Let's see, was there holding on the offense, perhaps? Let's see. Samuel says new mod since 2026 by JB. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so they're going to go ahead and opt to decline that one. 12 seconds left here before halftime. Now, you guys tell me, what are your expectations this season? We'll start with the Carolina Panthers. What are you guys expecting from the Carolina Panthers this season? Again, Carolina, they did win the division last year. Carolina, they put up quite the fight against the Rams in the two contests that they played them, which many people did not give them a chance, especially that first time around. That was a shocker. But that's what you love about the NFL. The NFL is a game about matchup, you know, X's and O's and stuff, and that's sometimes that you just cannot, predict that before the game. But we're all tied up 17 to 17. So if you took the under in this one, you're probably a little nervous right now. But we still got 8 seconds before we reach halftime. Let's see. Mike says Carolina took hit loss already with the rookie receiver Dunn. And so you say they already took a loss there. Honestly, if you're Carolina, I mean, you're in the right division. You're gonna be in the thick of it, but I cannot help but say last year it was so close. Even though Carolina made it, look at how close the other teams were. I mean, we saw Atlanta, and forgive me for mentioning this there, Mike. Atlanta, they had spurts last year where they did beat, Buffalo that one game. I was so happy. I feel like that's the game that helped the Patriots win that division because Atlanta decided to show up for that one game against Buffalo in that scenario last year. But I can't trust the Falcons, not with Tua, not with Michael Penix Jr., although I feel like Tua's the better quarterback between the two, honestly, but Tua's also going to stay injured. And Michael Penix Jr. is going to get injured, I feel like, from time to time as well. So what Atlanta has, I feel like by John Robinson, at least he got paid. He's getting paid for his stuff. He'll keep them hovering close to 500 and stuff, but it won't be enough for them. Tampa Bay has many, losing a guy like Mike Evans, that's big time. Baker Mayfield's going to feel disrespected. He's going to have to go out there, try to prove himself, obviously. I do like Tampa, though, but if they end up trading away that defensive tackle, what's his name? I think Vita requested the trade. If they lose him, that's going to be very big there because you need a run stopper like that. That's what keeps the, teams in the South, at bay. So you lose him, that's your staple. They don't have a replacement on that roster, and it'll be hard to fill the gap that he fills. He's a big man, big man. Let's see. Mike says Nick Scott and the linebacker edge needed is done. And so he's done. He said Lucky Baker stinks. And so Baker, no, I feel like this though. The only thing that can save Tampa Bay is if what's his name? Uh and Buka has a type of year two like Jackson Smith and Jigma had, last year. Because if you think about the scenario, Jackson Smith and Jigma, his rookie year, he was behind, DK Metcalf, and I think also Tyler Lockett, if I'm not mistaken. Both of them, I think, were still on the team at that time before they both left, and then he became receiver number one last year, and things really took off and stuff. And Baker, he likes to make sure that his receivers they reach their incentives. He will force feed if they're having a great game. Chris Godwin's getting a little old. Chris Godwin's dealing with so many injuries and stuff like that. So if Chris Godwin takes a step or two back, then it's going to really be up to, and we saw early last season what that could look like, at receiver there for Tampa Bay. But I feel like he was playing with an injury. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that that injury did slow him down and his effectiveness. But if he comes back 100%, he's the only thing I can say at Tampa Bay this season to where they could potentially win the division if the defense is great. But I would pay attention to the Saints this year, because the more I think about it, Shaw is not as bad as everybody thinks. And so we will have to see how that team gels. But I could see the Saints and I could see the Panthers being about same level. Let's see, Mike says, shame on everyone, including Patriots, losing the Seahawks. What shame is there in that, Mike? I mean, Seattle was a good team. They was a good team. They were the best team last year. Now, shame on Seattle for letting Kenneth Walker III walk after that man just brought y'all a championship, and y'all gonna let this man walk like y'all did, thinking you can just draft his replacement and it's gonna work out that way. We'll see about that. But what about the Rams, everybody? What about the Rams this year? Let's see. Samuel says New Orleans Saints game preseason start date. Let JV check it out real quick and see who do the Saints open up with and when is it? All right, so the Saints actually, let's see, so August the 15th, which is a Saturday, I believe. Yeah, so next week Saturday, the Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints, they play 4 p.m. Eastern time. So the Jaguars and the Saints. So we get, Laney's Jaguars, Samuel Saints, preseason matchup. Okay. Oh yeah. JV loves the fact that the preseason's back. Next week, the Colts go against my team. So Mr. JV's team versus my team in the preseason. But my next stream is gonna be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers next week Thursday. That's my next play-by-play. But my next actual stream is next week Wednesday for our four-man panel for the talk show for our first one of the year. So you'll be seeing some of JB next week. Let's see. Samuel says, hey, you're on your second channel there. So, all right, Samuel, bringing in the multi-channels. Let's see. Mike says, so did Panthers get better? That will take some math. Did the Carolina Panthers get better? That, in my opinion, that will depend on the young guys, the young core on the offense. If you're telling me that Ted McMillan is going to take that next step, that next leap, and that he's better, if you're telling me that Bryce Young has actually figured it out and that he's going to go in there and take it and have career high numbers, if you're telling me that Jonathan Brooks and Hubbard both will go out there and be a strong 1-2 punch, and that this offensive line is going to go out there and win battles, if you're telling me that the guys they had last year are gonna take the next leap because these are young guys. Like a lot of them got experience, or in the case of Brooks, he didn't get to play. So if they go out there and you're telling me that they are better, then it is potentially yes. The answer to that is potentially. But did they go out there and get significantly better? No, but it's possible that they could develop what they already have, and that would make them better. But on paper, I would have to say not enough. Not enough. They didn't do enough to go out there and clearly tell me like, "Hey, this is for sure the best team in the division." But some other teams got worse. Some other teams may have got worse. Atlanta, I'm looking at them. Laney says, "Let's go, Jags." Let's see. Mike says, "Rico Dotto led the league. Yeah, but fizzled out hard. Not sure where he is, so not seeing anywhere Panthers offense got better." And so that's where it comes down to what Brooks can do. If Brooks is better and you're telling me that Ted McMillan is more than just a red zone option, like he is solidifies, takes another leap. Like when I say leap, Think of Drake London's progression throughout the years where it gets better, it gets better. If I see that from Ted McMillan and stuff like that this year, where he takes it to another level, and now he's that beast that him and Bryce Young just have that combination that rivals the rookie year, what we saw between CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, like that type of connection with a deeper ball and add some deep ball to this offense, that's what's going to have to make them better. But you're right, though. If you're looking at it on paper, no, no, I can't say on paper that they did anything to get significantly better in my eyes. And as for Rico Dotto, he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers now. So Rico Dotto will be competing over there with Warren, Jalen Warren for carries in the backfield. And I feel like when Rico has the hot hand, they will hand it to him. Or if they're up big and they really want to, run the ball. So he's going to get some carries down there in Pittsburgh for sure. But hey, this is going to be Warren's team. When they got to throw it out the backfield, when they got to hand it to him, it'll be interchangeable between the two there. But Warren's their guy. That is their guy. Let's see. Samuel said you'd like that double promotion for that one too. All right, no biggie. All right, there it is, Samuel. So you've got both channels now in there. Let's see. Mike says they counting on JT Sanders to step up at tight end, but you don't buy it. You don't buy Mechie. You don't buy Brooks with help. The whole thing about Mechie the third is that I'm just happy the kid's out there at this point because he's been so driven with injuries. We don't even know what he could have been, in all honesty. If he pans out, that's just a nice flyer that says, okay, you two had nice chemistry at the college level and stuff like that. So if he's fully healthy and if there happens to be a connection that's cheap for us, that's great. That's what it comes down to, cheap. And I'm with you when it comes to the Sanders stuff here. I feel like we've seen that so many times from Carolina recently. It just doesn't pan out. Not to say that it can't, but they're going to give him some opportunities. But I don't expect for this to be a home run hit at that position for them. And so, yeah, the losses there at edge as well. So, yeah. And you said losing no line, man. You said Cade made the Panthers, smartly use their first round pick on the offensive line. That was a must. That was a must to use it on that offensive line. DJ 2K, shout out to Chris Henry and his situation. I saw not Chris Henry, Chris Johnson, and his situation, man. Watching Chris Johnson back in the day, man, that was about as fun as it gets, honestly. I mean, because prior to him, when I think East Carolina Pirates at the collegiate level, I still think Chris Johnson and I think David Garrard. Those are the two guys I think of when I think about the East Carolina Panthers, since they both played at that university. So again, all the stuff that's been happening there with Chris Johnson and stuff, definitely wishing the best for him. Laney says, "What is the second channel there, Samuel?" Mike Tomlin's person completely missed most of them on that dump. Let's see. Sammy said you got about a good 40 saved up there. Well, definitely save it, man. Save it. Because I know you're going to be traveling this football season, man. I know you're going to be traveling this football season. I know you're going to be at that LSU Ole Miss game when that happens later this year, Samuel. I know you're going to be at that one. Let's see. Mike says used a second on DT to play alongside Derek Brown, so the DTs are very good. You said Warden and Phillips might bring edge pressure. Devin Lloyd should reinforce linebackers. Who may be better, but cornerback core is still next in your opinion. I mean, they had some ups, they had some downs because there were some times where they did, show up and show out. I'm trying to think. That game that Brock Purdy returned, and the 49ers, were the 49ers playing Carolina last year? when Brock Purdy came back, because Mac Jones started for a good amount of games. I'm trying to remember because in the first half, Brock Purdy threw like a lot of interceptions. So I'm trying to think if this is the secondary or if my brain confused me and it was another team. Not 100% on that one there, but there were moments where that secondary did look superb. I mean, for them to even the first time that they beat the Rams to slow down that offense with the league MVP running it, they had their moment. Let's see, Samuel says, "You're ready. You're going to the Mississippi State Fair at Jackson, Mississippi on October 2026." Oh, yeah, State Fair. Now, that's exciting right there. That's exciting. All right. And again, for anyone that is wondering right now, we currently, right now, here at the Hall of Fame game, the score is tied 17-17 here at halftime. And again, I know my scoreboard is not working. Yeah, there's a lot of things that JB really wanted to have working, but it's not working currently. But I will make the corrections when I can. Yeah, I have no idea why is it that the scoreboard does not really want to stay updated. It really doesn't. Let's see. Complete at halftime. All right, so all it does is just say halftime report. Select the feature game. All right. All right. Samuel says that he's in his second channel. Okay. I'm also trying to do this thing where I'm waiting on Yahoo Fantasy to get back to me. And if they approve my request, I'm trying to, on the link that I shared earlier, I am trying to link my fantasy football league to it so that way you guys be able to follow my entire league's fantasy year this year. So everything from the draft to week by week and just, follow along with that. Some other stuff also. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. So Mike says, yeah, let's see, unless Beck is a miracle, great Cardinals would be dead last. You said the Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, they're best NFC division, maybe. You know, honestly, there is a path for the Cardinals to not be the worst team. Now, let me explain that to you, because at first it's going to sound like JB's tripping. Now, I'm not saying I expect the Cardinals to not finish last, because I got them projected to finish last, and I'm pretty high on that. But you look at the San Francisco 49ers right now, and what stands out to you currently right now in camp? 49ers got over 20 players injured right now, and they haven't even stepped foot on the football field for a preseason game yet. And they've already got 20 guys injured. Heck, even their coach, was in a bad car accident, and he's not available right now. So you add all of that, plus the fact that they're going to be putting so much trust and emphasis on Christian McCaffrey to go out there, and then you know how Christian McCaffrey is. He's been known for injuries and stuff. Knock on wood, he stays healthy. But off scenario, if he doesn't stay healthy, and George Kittle, he's always missing time every year. So who else they got? I mean, what, Debo Samuel? The man's a lot older. He left San Francisco because he didn't want that kind of wear and tear on his body. But now he's back. He ain't got no other choice. But this isn't the same Debo Samuel as he was before. So the injury bug is working overtime already in San Francisco. Now let's look at the Rams, right? The Rams. We talk about what they did defensively, and I like what they did defensively. Right now, in my projection, I got the Rams getting to the Super Bowl based upon what they did. However, everything resides upon the fact that Matthew Stafford stays healthy at his advanced age and stuff like that. Because if you remove him from the offense, that entirely removes everything, and that he doesn't regress also because he is getting older. Anytime you're older, we got to take it year by year for him to make sure that he does not go out there and progress. And Puka Nakua, he's been getting in some trouble and stuff like that lately. Can he, stay keep his mind on task on the football field? And can he stay healthy? They've got some great players, but they're very top heavy. If they lose their top any player from their top three on offense, they could be in for a longer season than people realize. That offense is heavily dependent on a top three offense. Last time I seen an offense that was that dependent on a couple guys, I got to go back to around the 2001 Raiders and stuff like that. The drop off that happened for them afterwards, whereas Rich Gannon, he aged, Jerry Rice was already older, Tim Brown was already older and stuff like that. So they age. Devontae Adams, he's starting to get a little bit old as well out there. So if they start getting those injuries there, that is a path there. Now for the Seahawks, clearly, Kenneth Walker was a big part of their offense. He added stability. They lost their play caller who went to go be a head coach elsewhere. So for them, that means Sam Darnold is going to be asked to do a lot more. Sam showed he can win it. That's great. But can Sam do it now that you took away the great offensive coordinator and you took away the run game to where if that Ricky Price ends up not being who you think he is at running back and Charbonnet struggles with injuries or he's not used to carrying the entire load by himself, you created some potential problems. Now, Jackson Smith and Jigma, I love him. I do love him. But outside of him at wide receiver, that's where we start having some conversations and stuff like that. So if they take double team him every play and Sam I am starts feeling the pressure and he feels like he has to actually do more than he had to last year, you can create some interesting scenarios. Now, I'm not saying the Cardinals are going to be able to take advantage of that. But if Carson Beck goes out there and performs at a high level and pulls a Russell Wilson, then hey, But what do I know? What do I know? JB got so carried away in talk here that JB missed the fact that the game returned. All right, but let's see. What did I miss? Mike says JB play dirty, gets people to trade Allen for Rosen. Check this, Mike. Check this. I spoke with old man who has the second pick in my fantasy draft this year, and his words is that he plans on taking Drake May with that second pick. Now I don't know if he's just pulling my leg or not, but we're gonna see if he ends up taking Drake May with the second overall or not. We're gonna see. Let's see. Samuel says you said you got 145 subs in your first channel. Okay, that's great, Samuel. That is great. Almost at 150 there. And you got 47 on the second one. Okay, we are growing. We are growing. Mike says, dang, 49ers are a mess. And so, yeah, and let's not forget, they still got to deal with the Brandon Ayuk situation there. I mean, I don't understand. I really don't understand what's going on with Brandon Ayuk. I mean, I feel like at this point, he's attacking any and everything that comes near him. And it's a shame because some people just really want to help him. Like I'm like, you're in the NFL. You want to make money. Don't play with the money. Don't play with the money. That is one thing that JB and Carmelo Anthony both agree on. You don't play with your money. You go out there and you get your money. Now Carson Beck gets the completion there. Look at them fight for the yards there. Gonna pick up about half of it. Third down coming up. But yeah, Mike, 49ers got a lot going on right now. I don't think everybody realizes just how bad things have to be to have more than 20 players out right now at this point in training camp. Because things are only going to get more physical. And that once they start playing, more injuries are going to happen. And injury blow loves San Francisco. My goodness. They have to be the most injured team since the year 2000 kicked in. Short pass. Not going to get the first down, but you do get a completion and you take it to the 40-yard line. Now, do they want to roll the dice and go for it here on fourth down? Let's see. Now, you guys tell me this. If you guys are the Cleveland Browns, who do you guys want to see start this upcoming season? Who should be the starter for the Cleveland Browns, in you guys' opinion? All right, 4th and 5. Beck pump fake, but Beck throws it up there. And oh, what a catch! What a catch! Now he had to pay for that catch, but he made the catch. What a play. First down here for the Arizona Cardinals. Here in the third quarter with 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go, tied up 17-17. It was a fourth down play. So what do? You pump fake it to get the defensive back to bite, and then you go down there and you throw. Oh, I'm sorry, he dropped the ball there. I'm tripping. I saw him with the ball in his hand, but he dropped the ball. That's why he got up like that. So wipe away everything JB said there. That is a turnover on down there. I thought he caught it. I'm tripping. All right. So Mike says, is May good? I think he owned the bill. So the question is Drake May good? And JB's got an answer for you. Now, if old man was here, I know old man would answer before I get the chance to speak. Drake May is legitimately good. He's legitimately good. Last year, we had absolutely no offensive line, no offensive line, and so for him, without a receiver, because the difference between Drake May in the Super Bowl with a bad offensive line, and then you compare Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl a couple years ago with a bad offensive line, is that Joe Burrow had a Jamar Chase. Drake May did not have that. Now, Stephon Diggs, he did superb for what he needed to do, honestly. And I feel like his mentality is what changed our receiver room. So I appreciate what he did because we had absolutely nothing in the receiver room prior to Stephon Diggs taking his talents to join us last season, and it paid off there. Because he was an alpha type receiver. He may not have the ability of the young Stephon Diggs, but he certainly was capable of going out there and getting 80 plus catches and being a 1,000-yard receiver and stuff. Just in the Super Bowl, he wasn't an AJ Brown. That's honestly the difference. A game like that, you need an AJ Brown. But that being said, though, Drake May, he turned water to wine out there in the field just about. Like he went out there and I seen him some games throwing it to people that, I mean, Mac Hollins. Who thinks about Mac Hollins as a big time receiver? Well, Drake May made him look like one. He went out there. I remember Mario Douglas, had one great performance last year when we really needed it the most. He had a big time play. I think against you guys, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. I think against you guys and stuff, but he had to spread the ball around. It was not based upon a receiver clearly being open. He threw beautiful deep balls that was on the money. That means receivers were not getting separation, but his pass was so good it got there. The only way to mess him up was that he kept getting hurt. Did you look at who he played in the playoff? That Houston defense, that's a tough defense. Houston has a tremendous defense. The Broncos defense, that's a tremendous defense as well. And then Seattle's defense, that was great also. So all the defenses were elite, elite, elite. Some of them just didn't have an offense, but they had elite defenses. So that's why it looked so bad because our offensive line was terrible. You watch the tape of us when we played against the Cleveland Browns, and although we beat the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett had a field day against that tackle. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I almost left the studio to go out there and help my team defend my quarterback because he was just getting back there every play. The offensive line was a liability last year. Any other quarterback would have had us with the first pick of the draft because it would have been that bad. Meanwhile, oh, nice carry. Oh, he lost the ball. He lost the ball. All that stumbling and rumbling just to start fumbling. Look at that. Wow. As a running back, you have but one job. And now Tyus the third, holding his arm there. Now let's look and make sure that he wasn't down. Was he down? No, that ball came out. He was fighting for every single yard, and these defensive players, they're smart. When they know that you're out there fighting for those extra yards, they're gonna come and knock that ball out, especially when you are losing your balance. You see that cut that he made before the play. He was already, losing his balance before then, and so they got him. So now Beck hands it off to the back, and the back. Oh, met by a defensive player, brought down. He's going to lose a yard on the carry. Excellent job there by Carolina. Let's see. Mike says, I call AJ Brown the cheat code. Digs it over. Hey, I'm happy for Diggs landing with the Commanders, though. I feel like that was an excellent move there on both sides there. That's going to pay off. That's going to really help Jaden Daniels next season. He needs that second option that he can rely on. I think Terry McLaurin, if he's fully healthy, can bounce back too. That's going to help the Commanders a lot this upcoming season. All right, pass completed, a yard shy of the first down marker. All right, so again, just redropping the link there for anyone that does have interest that wasn't on earlier and wants to check it out. All right, let's see. Samuel says New Orleans Saints quarterback retired. You say name is Taysom Jackson. You talking about Taysom Hill retiring? Let's see. Mike says JB says I can't take no more. Here, put me in, coach. And so, hey, for real though, I'm like, we finally got a quarterback again. I had to watch everything since Tom Brady left, from Jarrett Stidham to Brian Hoyer and stuff like that to who was the guy after him? What's his name? What's his name? I think he's on the Chiefs right now, if I'm not mistaken. I forget his name. Oh yeah, Bailey Zappe in there as well. Obviously Mac Jones, and it was a rough little roller coaster. Now Cam Newton, at first, the first couple games looked got nice, but we knew that wasn't going to be a long-term solution. But yeah, so it was rough. It was rough. So to finally have our quarterback again, I got to protect him, Mike. I got to. Let's see. Let's see. Mike says, so did the offensive line get better? And so I'll tell you what, I like our first round pick that we did draft though. He's going to help make the offensive line better. You know, the only question is our left tackle. Do we move him to left guard, which is what most people feel that we should, especially after what we saw last year? Because he's good. He's good. It's just he's built more like for a guard position than a tackle. So if we can move him to guard, and then the guy that we drafted that's a true tackle, let him play tackle. That can be an improvement. We still got Moses on the right tackle for another season. So there could be some improvement. I'm not expecting no top, 10 offensive line, but if we can finish in the top 20, closer to that 15 spot, I'll be happy with that because that means we've improved for sure. You say on top of adding the cheat code there. So, hey, you got to do it. If your Mike says you miss your play calls, let's see. Mike says JB back to pass. JB looking, and now he's going to be taken down from behind by Mike for the sack. Oh, man. All right, throws it. Oh, that's going to be incomplete there. There's a flag on the play there, but that was close to the sideline there. I mean, you gave your receiver a chance to make the play where only he could make the play there. Not mad at that throw at all. Just not the results you want if you're the Cardinals. And so, yeah, Taysom Hill is stepping away now from the Saints there, in which he's been their gadget man. If you guys remember the year that Drew Brees was there, I remember Drew Brees got hurt, and Taysom Hill originally took over at quarterback there, and that was a mixed bag of chips there. And then from there, I feel like in fantasy football, Taysom Hill has moments where he steals a lot of the fantasy points that would normally go to your running back or even your quarterback. But hey, he was, a different type of player. Meanwhile, feeling the pass rush, brought down there for the sack, brought him down. You're going the wrong direction right now if you're the Cardinals. Here in the third quarter, with about 5 minutes and 55 seconds to go. I had to do a double take. I thought the number 12, Slovis, I thought that was Josh McCown out there at quarterback. I was like, wait a minute, I know that's the wrong year. Let's see. Black Medicine in the building. What's good with you? And so Black Medicine says, holy cow, he forgot about this game today. He forgot about the Hall of Fame game today. Third and 27 for the Cardinals. And brought down. He had already slipped there, but he's at the 25-yard line. What this does is make life that much more easier for the field goal kicker, Ryland, to come out there and see if he can connect on the field goal attempt. All right, so Riley made a 35-yard field goal attempt earlier today. Let's see if he can make this 2 for 2, a 43-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, is on the way, and it's good. Tack on 3 more points here for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see. Black Mesa says the Braves just mean more to him than these two pot scraping teams. He said one stole his running back and the other keeps beating his team. I bet you that Tyler Algier, if he could do it all over again, he would have stayed put, just asked for a nice little raise and stuff, rather than to go over there and basically once again be the backup against another running back and compete with James Conner, who, if he's fully healthy, will push for some carries. For sure. He's like, I came here thinking I was going to be the man, but now I am a part of a committee. So, wow. And again, we're at the commercial here. So let's let JB poke around a little bit more and see. All right, so I'm guessing that the poll question just doesn't, it does not ask you guys from the chat. So I've got to fix that part. Let's see. Samuel says he likes sweet tea. Okay, Samuel. He is a sweet tea type of guy. All right, you guys give me your way too early Super Bowl projection. The two teams that you guys believe are going to get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's early. Things are going to change by the time the regular season gets here, so we're not going to hold you to it here. But on paper, who do you guys have right now for your Super Bowl projection? Let's see. Mike says, is Bills versus Patriots biggest powerhouse rivalry this year? Mike, as much as I would like to say the Bills versus Patriots would be the biggest powerhouse rivalry this year, I mean, we cannot overlook what the Seahawks and the Rams, are as a rivalry. If we're talking about last year, if you are the Rams, you feel slighted because remember that game where Charbonnet basically fell on the ball in the end zone and they ended up winning what the Rams feel like they should have won. And then you watch the Seahawks go out there and win last year's Super Bowl. So therefore, I'm gonna say that the Rams and the Seahawks have to be that powerhouse matchup as of right now with how things are. Patriots and Bills, they're up there, but there's a couple games that I probably would say ahead of them, honestly, right now. Like Medicine says, Atlanta Falcons versus Alabama Crimson Tide. Oh, how we would like to say that. See that. Samuel says you like Dr. Pepper. Hey, Dr. Pepper, you can't go wrong with that. I know Mr. JB loves some Dr. Pepper. Let's see. Laney says, Jamie, wanted to let you know you're leaving the chat for a bit, so good night and see you next time. Good night to you, Laney. Thanks for coming through. I know it's been a minute, but hey, glad to have you here. I hope that the family's doing well also. And looking forward to the next stream. Again, JB's next live stream is going to be Wednesday for the talk show, and the next play by play is going to be a week from today. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers. That will be the game that I can see, so that's the one that I will be streaming next week. That's going to be, I think, what, 7:30 Eastern time? So yeah, those two streams I've already set up. And let's see, you say, see you next time. If something happens and I don't get back on here, you say go Jags. And so, hey, the Jaguars, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do this year. They put up a fight, against Buffalo there, just was not able to finish the job. I remember last season before the playoffs, the team that was on my mind in terms of I wanted to avoid was the Jaguars because I felt like they were the hottest team at that time entering into the playoffs at that time. Both, combination of offense and defense. Meanwhile, for the Panthers out the shotgun, gonna hand the ball. But good night to you, Laney. Again, thanks for coming through. Mike says Chiefs versus the Rams. So okay, so you think that Patrick Mahomes coming back, that he's gonna turn back the clock? We're gonna talk about that one there, Mike. I'm gonna catch up on the comments, but we're gonna get back to that one. Let's see. Black Messon says, "You're right. Things Dr. Pepper is the weirdest tasting thing ever. Has no idea what it's supposed to actually taste like." Really now? I mean, I am a fan of Dr. Pepper myself now. I mean, now JB likes pretty much almost anything, but Dr. Pepper's good. Now I like that zero sugar one that I'd be having as well there. Of all the drinks, I feel like their zero sugar is the best tasting, like if you compare it to the original taste in terms of like no different, in my humble opinion. Meanwhile, Haynes King for the Carolina Panthers does what he does best, and that's scramble. But the referee does what he does best and throws a flag, and this one I think is coming back. Let's see, Mike says, "Is Aaron Rodgers retired?" Aaron Rodgers will not retire. He is not retired. He is coming back there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they actually waited for this man to come back as if as if he's the missing piece. This is what I don't understand about the Pittsburgh Steelers, all right? And JB gets passionate talking about this because their fan base deserves better and stuff like that than what they are getting in that. Now, no offense to Aaron Rodgers, and his legacy and stuff like that. I get it, veteran quarterback, and Mike McCarthy wants to reunite with him. But we all know what that means. They're going to be the same old Pittsburgh Steelers that goes out there, win 9 or 10 games, get in possibly as a wild card seed or maybe even division winner. But I think wild card seed and stuff like that, and then get outed in the first round. Why? Because the offense can't move the ball once again. I know they picked up Michael Pittman Jr. And that was a good pickup for him. They're going to need to utilize him because Aaron Rodgers wants to get the ball out quickly to avoid getting hit. We know that. But to say this and to say that, Rodgers is not going to get them to the promised land. That's just not going to happen. JB's going to put his JB guarantee Aaron Rodgers is not going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Super Bowl. And they know it. They know it. They would have been better off letting either Drew Allure or Will Howard go out there, compete for the job, since they wanted to be cheap and not draft another quarterback that legitimately could have been the guy. See who wins the job. Go out there, see if anybody can step up. And if not, then hey, at least it's something different. But you're going out there with the same formula that failed you last year, and without a matter of fact, how many good defenses that you're going to have to face, whether it's the Broncos, whether it's the Houston Texans defense. There's a lot of good defenses in the AFC. So I didn't like that for them, the fact that they just, decided to run it back after seeing that Aaron Rodgers visibly looked old out there a lot of games. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Let's see. Mike says Reggie Gilliam is good. Let's see. Mr. JB says the Coast and the Rams. Black Medicine says no. Dr. Pepper is amazing. He said grapefruit soda, all good. Let's see. Black Medicine says Haynes King. Yeah, Haynes King, number 16 for the Carolina Panthers out there. I had forgot myself that he had got signed by the Carolina Panthers. I was so focused on Carson Beck and the outstanding game that he was having on the other side for the Arizona Cardinals. And I know you missed it, but Carson Beck, I think he was what, like 11 to 14 for like 148 yards and a touchdown. I'm pretty sure he had a couple more completions since then after halftime. But Carson Beck was throwing that ball out there. He was throwing that ball. Let's see. Samuel says, I think the Saints are going to be making a playoffs for the Super Bowl in 2027. I could see a path for the Saints to get to the playoffs there. I could see the path, especially if the division plays out like it did last year. But I'm not going to say no Super Bowl now. For them, just getting to the playoffs, that would be big. But in order for that to happen, that means that Tyler Shaw is going to have to pick up where he left off at the last 5 games of last year. And that means that the other teams really struggled at quarterback that season. Now, Tampa Bay, I don't know what to expect from Tampa Bay in all honesty there. I just know that Baker Mayfield has that chip on his shoulder again. It could be good, could be bad. We'll see. But there's a lot of question marks I have in that division. It comes down to who wants it in all honesty in that division. Who do you guys think should be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons? Would you guys rock with Tua or Michael Penix Jr.? You guys let me know in the comment section and we'll talk about that. But as for Carolina, got back to the line of scrimmage there on the carry, third down coming up. So Titus the third has been getting the carries for the Carolina Panthers ever since they took out AJ Dillon earlier in the game. And again, AJ Dillon looked nice. He looked physical. He looked healthy. For a guy like AJ Dillon, being healthy is big because I like physical runners that are big like that. I feel like a team like the Miami Dolphins, if he does end up getting cut from the Carolina Panthers, they can use a physical goal line presence, someone like a AJ Dillon if he truly is healthy. All right, but 3rd and 9 here. Haynes King out there at quarterback, 5 wide here. In the pocket, throws it, gets the completion, but he's about a good 2 yards shy of that first down marker. 4th down coming up. This is where a guy like Haynes King, this is where he can do his magic here. 4th and 2 with the option to run. So you spread them out defensive, you offensively spread them out, make the defense have to spread out too, give them the option to run if need be. But hey, we're at the end of the 3rd quarter in the Hall of Fame game today. I mean, we saw guys like Drew Brees get indicted earlier today, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly. We saw some guys that I remember playing as if it was yesterday. Adam Vinatieri, you know what he's been for my team. So let's see. And so Teddy, what's good? What's good? You say show the same. What's good, man? How are you? All right, and again, for those of you just tuning in right there, if you're looking at the scoreboard there, it's just JB's building this website here from scratch, and a lot of bugs kicked in over the last 24, 48 hours there. And this is the first time I was able to test this out live, the actual scoreboard. So the scoreboard is not updating the way it's supposed to. I apologize about that, but hey, preseason, perfect time to test it out there. And I'll continue to work out some of the bugs there, along with some of the other functionalities that was supposed to be working for this one. But we had ourselves a very good game so far in this preseason. I am happy with how this game has played out. Let's see. Mike says Falcons, it's over. You say it's over. Let's see. Samuel says you're ready. NFL game and NCAA college football season is back. And so, yes, we're ready for those college football games. I will be live streaming the TCU and North Carolina game. I've already set that one up. That was August 29th. So I know we've got some time between now and then, but that will be the game there. See Bill Belichick and North Carolina Tar Heels go against TCU and see how that plays out. How y'all feel about Marvin Harrison Jr.? Those of you guys that play fantasy football, do you guys have Marvin Harrison Jr. on your radar, or are you guys shying away from him thinking that it could be a potential bust? Because right now, I'm hearing a little bit of both right now. So I want to see what you guys say about that. All right, so Samuel says Ohio State game start time. So let me look that one up in a second here. But oh man, what a nice completion there for Carolina. Gets the first down and then some. And he doesn't stop until he's around the 4 yard line there. So that's a first down for the Carolina Panthers here in the 4th quarter, making clutch passes here. Haynes King, the former Georgia Tech product. All right. So once we get a break, I will look that up there, Samuel, to see because Ohio State, obviously for Ohio State this year, they got quite a number of big games, which means a number of streams that JB will be streaming for the Ohio State Buckeyes for sure, which means y'all gonna be seeing JB a little stressed this year because we got quite a few big games this year. All right, play fake. King throws it to the back, easy touchdown, and that's exactly what you wanted right there. If you're Carolina, made it do what it do. Anthony Tyus the third with the receiving touchdown. That drive, 10 plays, 73 yards, 5 minutes and 22 seconds to turn time possession off the clock there. Carolina now leads 23-20, and they've got the point at the touchdown coming up. Let's see. Mike says, "Oh, how good is Marvin Harrison Jr.?" Well, Mike, how good is Marvin Harrison Jr. depends on who you ask, honestly. Some people are saying last season could have been a bit of a letdown there, not quite what they were hoping from him. But if you compare Marvin Harrison Jr., his stats last season to his father's stats his rookie year, pretty similar. So I'm wondering, can he do like his father in year two and have a big step? But if you remember, Marvin Harrison Sr., his second year was the year that the coach drafted Peyton Manning. So that means the first year he didn't have a quarterback. And for Arizona, they've got, Jacoby Brissett, maybe Carson Beck. If Carson Beck takes over the job, I feel like, and if him and Marvin Harrison Jr. has rapport, and I don't know if they have rapport, but if they develop rapport, I feel like that could be what would save Marvin Harrison Jr. He needs a quarterback that truly believes in him as the first option. I feel like Jacoby Brissett has tremendous rapport with Michael Wilson. We saw it in a couple games, especially when throw in games that Marvin Harrison Jr. did not play. And I mean, Michael Wilson had a couple games with what, like 14 catches and stuff like that. So I've seen him go crazy and stuff like that. So those two I know have chemistry. It's just, can Jacoby Brissett develop it with Marvin Harrison Jr. or not? That is the question. Let's see. All right, so we're at the commercial here. So let me take a quick gander here for you, Samuel, and let me see. All right, so looking here, trying to find Ohio State. All right, 1 second here as I search for it. Quite a good amount of games coming on. That'll be some good ones to look at. All right, so Ohio State's opening game is September 5th, and that's against Ball State at 12:30 p.m. So opener there. Probably won't end up, yeah, I will not be streaming that one there. I'll find a more competitive game there. But that next week, September 12th, Ohio State on the road at Texas, I got to stream that one. That one is definitely a must to see that one. All right, let's see. All right, so Mike says, who are the exciting quarterbacks in college football this year? Well, I got to start since I mentioned Ohio State. Got to start with Julian Saying, coming back second year as a full-time starter now. Last year, he did good. He had some good moments. My problem last year with Julian Saying was he seemed slow in big, big games. Like when we played against Indiana, when we played against Miami, we needed to escape the pocket and stuff like that. He seemed kind of slow and didn't make enough of the big plays that we needed in those really, really big games and stuff like that. And so I need to see development in that one. But hey, that's great there. And then you look at Oregon, Dante Moore, he could have declared last year, chose to come back again this year. Can't blame him after the game he had in the college football playoff. But Oregon quarterback is another big time quarterback as well. Shoot, I can keep it in the Big Ten, really, in all honesty. Now, a big transfer quarterback would be I forget his name, so forgive me for forgetting his name there. But the quarterback that is transferring from Duke to the University of Miami, he can run. He can run. He's electric. And so with the weapons that they have out there at wide receiver, that's going to be great as well. It's just a matter of how good is the offensive line, but he's certainly someone that if you don't know him already, because he played at Duke, and so I mean, Duke football, I get it, but yeah, you'll see a lot of him for the Miami Hurricanes, where they find a way to keep getting those quarterbacks, which is making the rest of the state of Florida upset that keeps happening to them. You've also got, let's see, I'm just going down the list here at big time quarterbacks here. I should say exciting quarterbacks. Indiana does have another quarterback coming in he spent his time at TCU, Josh Hoover. I've been following Josh Hoover for at least the past, I think, 3 seasons. Josh Hoover can throw that ball. There's a reason why TCU was putting up the points that they put up. That's because of Josh Hoover. Now they ain't had no defense, so Josh Hoover had to go out there and always feel like he had to make plays. So sometimes did a little bit too much. But you put him in a system like Indiana, and he doesn't feel like he has to do too much. Josh Hoover can throw the football. It's just a matter of will it come together there at Indiana or not? For my Buckeyes' sake, I hope it doesn't. But we'll see how that goes. So that's a couple quarterbacks there that come to mind for me for this year for college football. This year, we have a lot of returning talent at the quarterback position. And let's not forget, I didn't even mention Arch Manning at Texas. I didn't even mention him. So this year, Can he live up to the hype? I know he got off to a slow start last year, but can he live up to the hype this year? Hopefully not against my Buckeyes, preferably. So there's a lot of quarterbacks there. Ole Miss quarterback is coming back again. Georgia quarterback is coming back again. So Mike, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming back this year. Notre Dame quarterback Carr, he's coming back once again. So we loaded this year. We loaded. Get your popcorn ready. There will be some great football games for college football. All right, 2nd and 1. They run it for the first down here for the Arizona Cardinals. Again, the score right now, Panthers 24, Cardinals 20. Let's see. Mike says, poor Jack Plummer. No one wants to pick him. He's going to end up playing in the UFL at this point. It's got to be UFL, I feel like. Mr. JB says, let's go, Texas. Mike says, Stafford is on pace to be 70,000 yard top five passer, all time yards, and top five touchdowns. And so, good old Matthew Stafford. I'm happy for Matthew Stafford because I remember early in this man's career, if you guys remember his rookie year, he took the job from Dante Culpepper that year. I was a little annoyed because I felt like Dante Culpepper was not getting a fair opportunity because he did look like he was legit. But the previous couple seasons, he struggled with the Raiders and the Dolphins due to an injury. So at that time, I remember Matthew Stafford playing through an injury as a rookie out there for the Detroit Lions. Like he has come a long way. I don't know if you guys remember back when Matthew Stafford was at the University of Georgia. University of Georgia started the year off ranked number one that year, and they lost, I think, 5 games that season. They had him, they had No Sean Marino, they had AJ Green, at that University of Georgia team. So that was a team that came in with a lot of hype, but they took some bumps and bruises. But Matthew Stafford has always been a great thrower of the football. Obviously, he played, with Calvin Johnson also in Detroit, but it was Detroit. That's too much to overcome. That's too much to overcome for one man. But I'm so happy that he was traded to the Rams and he was able to, play this high quality football for them also. 3rd and 2, play fake, throws it. Oh, incomplete, incomplete. That's one that the receiver really wishes he would have caught. He knows that was his opportunity. 4th down coming up. All right, let's see. Samuel said Mississippi State game start time. Remind me during the commercial, Samuel, to take a peep and see Mississippi State for you. We should be hitting the commercial sometime soon. Let's see. Mike says Culpepper. Those were the good old days, and so yes, yes, good old Dante Culpepper. I remember those Culpepper to Moss type of days. A young Randy Moss, 35-yard field goal attempt for the Cardinals is good. So that makes it 24-23. Diamond says Mississippi State quarterback back. I do not know if Mississippi State quarterback is back or not, but that is a great question. But hey, we are hitting the commercial now, so let me go ahead and take a look and see Mississippi State real quick. Now, Mississippi State last year, I know they had a couple games where I was looking like, will they be able to pull off the upset or not last season? All right, so let's see. Mississippi State opens up the year against Louisiana Monroe, and that's going to be September 5th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, against Louisiana Monroe, and that's going to be September 5th at 7:30. And so you look at their schedule. Afterwards, they go on the road at Minnesota. That should be a good one. Yeah, there's so many things to know because I mean, personally, I want to know myself also, how good is LSU going to be this year? And at the same time, will Ole Miss continue to hold the standard where they did last year? Because I mean, they almost made it. They made it to what, like the Final Four? They were tough. Obviously, UGA, Bama did not like the way their season ended. There's a lot of teams out there, that this year I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Then you've got a team like Oklahoma. How will they respond? How do you guys feel about Jameer Gibbs getting paid though? Like he got paid, John Robinson got paid, Jonathan Taylor got paid, running back got paid in the last, couple days. And I'm happy for him because the guys that got paid, they deserve every bit of it. All right, so here we are in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the fourth. And right now, Carolina leading 24-23. But the Cardinals, after kicking a field goal, they're about to kick things off. All right, from the 4, the 20, brought down at the 30-yard line. And that is where the Carolina Panthers, who are up 24-23, will take over here in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes and 13 seconds to go. All right, let's see. All right, so I think we're in the final quarter of this Hall of Fame edition game. And just a reminder that JB will be going live again next week. Wednesday will be the talk show between with me, Endizo, Old Man Mob, and Travis joining us. So we're going to be a four-man squad now. And we're going to try to aim for Wednesdays more consistently because that works best for Old Man's schedule. So we can have him on. And then next week, Thursday, will be my next live stream in terms of the play-by-play. And that's going to be the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we will get to see, Drew Alar. We will get to see Will Howard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for Green Bay, I'm trying to remember who is their backup quarterback since now Malik Willis is gone to Miami to be their starting quarterback. So trying to think who is the backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I have forgotten. All right, so here we go. All right, let me check and see where we're at here. All right, let's see. So Mike says, JB, each year running back gets more valuable compared to a couple years back. We discussed how they were not utilized much. Mike, honestly, there's one person that I do blame for that, in all honesty. I really do blame. I feel like, and I got to think about when exactly did this happen, but I feel like the Patriots sort of started this, because the Patriots started doing running back by committees. After we got away from a running back like a Corey Dillon in the backfield, then we started doing a 1-2 punch between Corey Dillon and Lawrence Maroney. Then after Lawrence Maroney, faded away. Then that's when we started drafting guys like Stephen Ridley. What's the other running back we drafted and stuff? And we just kept using running back by committees and stuff and devaluing the position because then we realized you can have one running back come in like a Danny Woodhead and catch the ball out the backfield and stuff like that. Then you can have another one like Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, just run the ball up the middle, fall forward and stuff. And these were guys that you can get cheap. You can get real cheap. I remember LeGarrette Blount, we rewarded this man coming off a season in which he led the league in rushing touchdowns by asking him to take a pay cut. And I was like, Bill, are you tripping? I'm like, why would we ask this man to take a pay cut? It's no wonder he went to the Eagles and beat us in the Super Bowl. We asked the man to take a pay cut. Oh, what a run! What a run! He's still running. There goes that man. That's how you make a name for yourself. Davis. Now these guys are playing right now. They got everything to prove out there. Everything to prove. But yeah, that's how that kind of sort of got started. Let's see. Samuel says, good, great NFL and NCAA football season 2026 and 2027. And so Lil Joker, what's good? What's good? You said, let's go, Carolina. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Speaking of Carolina, you guys give me a record projection, and also where do you think they're going to end up standing this year in the division for the Carolina Panthers? Go ahead and put that in the comment section, everybody. Your record projection for the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season, and where do you think they're going to end up in the NFC South when it's all said and done? Will they be first place again? Is this their division to basically reign on, or how do you see it playing out? You guys let me know. Let's see. Mike says Drew Alar is in the NFL. Yeah, Mike. Drew Alar was drafted. What round was Drew Alar drafted? If anybody knows, correct, JV. I think he was a fifth round draft pick, but I'm not 100% sure. I know the collapse of Penn State was pinned on him, but it took more than just him and stuff. He's always been raw in terms of pure talent and stuff like that. He's going to need one heck of a quarterback coach, one heck of a quarterback to learn behind, in which being behind Rodgers, there is a lot you can learn if he feels like teaching you and stuff like that. And he's going to be competing with Will Howard, for that backup spot there. So Drew Alar has been someone that they have always fell in love with. I remember before this past season, they were talking about Drew Alar as potentially a top 15 pick and stuff like that. Well, clearly that's not the same. That did not work out for him. But we'll see how this plays out. We will see. That reminds me, another quarterback, Mike, for your question earlier, Lenoris Seller for the South Carolina Gamecocks. He was someone that last year people thought would have been a top quarterback. Didn't have a great year. Wasn't his fault, though. The talent around him really faded. So, especially on that offensive line, he had no time. You give that man time, South Carolina could be a little bit dangerous there. So, we'll see if they plug the holes or not. Let's see. Mike says, shout out, Lil Joker. Yes. Let's see, Mike says, we love our Eagles fans, but they so insecure. You saying no ways bite on media hurts and Nick Sirianni trolls? Oh man, you ain't had to call him out like that. All right, this will be a 37-yard field goal attempt right now for the Carolina Panthers. Kick is up and the kick. It is good. It is good. If there's one position that I'm always looking for at the preseason Hall of Fame, there's no excuse for a kicker not to make it. Like regular season, preseason, I expect my kickers to make it. All right, let's see. Mike says, yeah, it was you guys. You say, because the rest of the league was trying to copy. Yeah, I remember that. That was a downtime for running backs, like in all seriousness. It really was. Because we went from a league that was stacked. Just think about before that. I mentioned Corey Dillon, but there was guys like Curtis Martin, Edgerrin James, Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, Chris Johnson. There was so many guys. Adrian Peterson, of course, was the rare running back that kept his throughout all of the other running backs, declining and stuff, but kind of a little bit before him and stuff like that. It really was a lot of, running backs that could do it all. But after that, it was like, okay, we're gonna sign this running back for like 2 million 1 year. We're gonna sign this one for like 3 million. We're gonna draft this one in the fifth round, insert him. We'll get the same result. All right, let's see. Mike says, yeah, he roots Sellers there. And so, yeah, I hope he has a great bounce back season because he is someone that could benefit greatly. And if he can just get an offensive line, I guarantee you, South Carolina's going to be fun to watch. if they can just give him an offensive line to go out there because like the kid's got talent. He's got talent. He's legit. He's got talent. Let's see. Mike says Mendoza and Simpson round one. And so, yeah, I mean, Mendoza was expected, and he's what the Raiders need from a culture change perspective. Is he's got the mindset that he can go to a small program like he did in Indiana and change it. And they honestly need a different mindset. That's what they needed, in all honesty. So that's where it starts. But I don't they should not play him too much this year. They don't have receivers to support him other than having what Brock Bowers at tight end, which is a great have. Ashton Genty in the backfield, in which I expect year two, he'll have, some good strides also. But at wide receiver, I don't like their receiving core that much. It's unproven. It's unproven in all honesty. Let's see. Mike says Alara's third, and you say Cade is over. Let's see. Samuel says Buffalo Bills game start date. So who does Buffalo open a season with? Mike, if you know off the top of your head there, who does Buffalo open up with? Me and Mr. JB, we thought about that earlier today, but I never had the chance to look it up and see who do the Bills open the season with. Let's see. Mike says you're root Nussmeier guy, but he kind of mid. Oh yeah, them guys like Nussmeier and stuff. They got onto the hype train like extremely early, but just never stepped it up. Because so many times you saw their teams ranked, about middle of the pack, probably about what, 14, 15, 16, 17, in a big time top 25 matchup against a team that they should be able to beat, but they don't, and they lose. So, let's see, Mike says, who Cole Payton? You say which Bills game? Week one of the regular season is what I would like to know, but I think Samuel's talking about the preseason for you guys. So who is the preseason week one, and then also regular season week one, if you got that there, Mike, for us. Let's see. Mike says he hasn't looked at the Bills schedule. He probably just took out a marker and put WWW and just left it at that. Meanwhile, passed by the Cardinals there over the middle. Nice completion for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see. Mike says Bills versus Texans. Texans are that's who y'all start for what, regular season, or is that y'all preseason first game? Because hey, the Houston Texans now, yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be real tough. That's gonna be real tough right there. I'm hearing some people say that the Houston Texans might can make it to the Super Bowl. What do you guys think? Is Houston a Super Bowl team? In my opinion, if you think that Houston's a Super Bowl team, that means that CJ Stroud is gonna have a bounce back year. I thought last year would have been a year, couldn't have a bounce back year. Now I get it, Nico Collins had his injuries and stuff, but he held that team back in the playoffs. I mean, as a Pats fan, that was clearly, he held them back. As you Mike says, August the 15th, the Panthers and Bills at a JBTV near you. That's August the 15th there. Okay, okay, okay. We like that. We are right now currently here at the commercial here. I just want to thank everybody for coming through here on the live on JB's return here for the Hall of Fame matchup in this one, Panthers and Cardinals. As we take notes, we pay attention to see who looks good. Even if they end up getting cut or traded or something like that, if it doesn't work out here, you're auditioning for other teams in the NFL as well. And that's what you love about the preseason. Especially as the game goes on, it means more and more for the players out there on the field. See, Mike says Bills, Rams, primetime, World Collide game. Ooh. Yeah, I did see that you guys do play the Vikings this year. I'm looking forward to seeing that one there. I really am. Can the Vikings do us a solid this year? That is the question. How many primetime matchups does your Buffalo Bills have if you're still looking at the schedule? I mean, I'm all for my team playing a couple primetime games, but I'm like, hey, you know, don't schedule my team during Thanksgiving. Just don't do it. I want to be able to sit back and enjoy it without worried about, the pressures of my team playing and stuff like that. So let me eat in peace on Thanksgiving. All right, again, the score right now, Carolina 27, Arizona 23 here in the fourth quarter, 6 minutes and 14 seconds left to go. And they are currently reviewing whether or not that was indeed a catch or not. Okay, they say it was a catch. All right, quarterback up under center at the 45-yard line of the Carolina Panthers. Going to hand it to the back in the back off the right side. Look at him keeping his footing there. Picks up a good 14 yards there on a carry. That's exactly what you want to see from a guy that's fighting. I mean, if you're playing in the game right now, that means you got to take advantage of your opportunities. Not just right now on offense or defense, but also special teams as well. And guys, you guys already know. Wednesday, September 9th. Oh man, JB's definitely gonna be looking forward in that one too. Live streaming that matchup between the Patriots and the Seahawks for our season opener. All right, runs the ball there back at the line of scrimmage. I see Samuel says the Buffalo Bills gameplay new stadium. That's right, that new stadium. That new stadium. I wonder if old man's gonna take the time to go down there since he's close to that new stadium and try to just cause some damage or something. Sounds like something an old man would do. Or just terrorize the workers and stuff. Oh, let's see. Mike says, let me ask you this, JB. Let's see, when's the last time you bought a football card and did you use to collect? Ooh, I have not purchased football cards. You would think that would be something that JB would have purchased and stuff like that, but I just never collected football cards. But if I did, I definitely would have a huge collection, I'm sure. I just never did it. I don't know why. I just never did. Is that something that you've done over the years, Mike? All right, throws against the completion. All right, brought down at the 14-yard line. You know who I'm looking forward to seeing return? I mean, obviously, looking forward to when we are able to have Braden join us and stuff like that. I do keep contact with Braden, so he's doing good. I'm looking forward to seeing speaking with RC. I feel like RC, he keeps the chat going by himself at times. So I hope RC is doing good. I know he's been streaming some of the WNBA. Small pickup there on the carry. Let's see, Mike says this year will be incredible with the Bills and the Patriots. Oh, it's going to be a fight. It is going to be a fight out there. It is. It is. I mean, but how much more does Josh Allen have to do for the Buffalo Bills to get you guys to a Super Bowl, Mike? Like, talk to me. What do the Buffalo Bills need to happen to get to the Super Bowl and win it? Not just get there and, heartbreak 2.0. But to get there and to win it, what do you need the Buffalo Bills to do and accomplish this season for that to happen? Because if not now, then when? If not now, then when? I see Mike says you collected these as a kid and they are all worthless because they printed millions upon millions. So you never got the rare of the rarest ones. I got you. All right, 3rd and 1. Gonna head to the back, and the back is gonna get the first down. Forward progress stopped after picking up 2 yards on the carry, but that's enough for the first and goal here for the Arizona Cardinals with about 3:05 left to go here in the fourth quarter of play. Let's see. Mike says Allen a choker in the playoff. Was the last playoffs really Allen's fault though? I mean, I feel like he balled out. It's just bad luck for both teams actually. The Bills, the Broncos, because they lost their quarterback. Let's see. Mike says, I still think to win, they need another receiver option and a legit edge. Okay, well, tell me this, Mike. Tell me this. As a Buffalo Bills fan, because I always think about him in terms of fantasy football as a disappointment, but Dalton Kincaid, compared to when you guys drafted him, what you guys were hoping he would be, how do you feel about Dalton Kincaid as a tight end for the Buffalo Bills? What are your honest thoughts about him? Do you feel like when it comes to both him and what was it? Keon Coleman, I think, the receiver that you guys have. How do you feel about both of them? Because I feel like if they lived up to the hype you guys thought you were getting at the time that your team selected them, maybe the problems that you talk about won't exist if they both lived up to the hype. And do you think it's too late? All right, first and goal here. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left to go here. Gonna feed it to the back, and the back is gonna fight forward there. Not enough to get into the end zone, but he does pick up a yard or two on the carry, and that's gonna make it about 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go here before the 2 minute warning. And so let's see, Zoe. Zoe, what's good with you? And so says Beck was balling. Oh yeah, hey, he was balling. He had me having those conversations about, I remember back when Russell Wilson was a rookie, third round pick by the Seattle Seahawks that year, and they were thinking about starting Matt Flynn, but Russell just, outperformed everybody, looked good in camp, looked good in preseason, made a name for himself, and took the starting job. And I could certainly see that possibility. In fact, if I was for the Cardinals, that's what I would want to see Carson Beck take the job, because that means you have your quarterback of the future and you can go out there, get him started now. And hey, you got some receivers. Arizona was able to score some points last year. So it's not like the offense is bad. It's just they're in a really tough situation with the division and stuff like that. But hey, the kid has showed, something today. Obviously has won Hall of Fame games, so we're not going to crown him, as Dennis Green would say. You want to crown him, then crown him, but JB's not going to crown him yet. But I'm just going to say that potential is there. And if you're the Cardinals, you have no choice but to investigate that. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Let's see. Mike says, well, the rare insect you wanted and dreamed about as a kid, you say you can just buy for $1 or $2 on eBay. Yeah, they're taking the fun away from that. The thrill of the chase. So you say Bills players always messed up in the playoffs, fired the coach. Yeah, y'all got that man fired and stuff like that. McDormand was a good man. I'm not going to say he was the best coach, but he was a good man. He cared about the Buffalo Bills. That counted for something, right? I mean, before he took the job compared to what he established as the norm, cold, man, just cold. Let's see. Mike says Dalton Kincaid. I'm not. You say he said he's not physical enough, but his receiving game getting better, but hurt a lot. Yeah, he does get injured a lot. He does get injured a lot. I do my best to avoid him in fantasy football. I mean, if he balls out, great, but I do my best to avoid him. He feels like an afterthought in some game plans, to be honest. And the other guy you guys have, Dawson Knox, I feel like he gets more love sometimes. Let's see. Mike says Matt Flynn. What yeah, Matt Flynn. You guys remember Matt Flynn? Back in the day, Seattle had signed him coming from Green Bay with the intent of starting him that season that they drafted Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson took the starting job and never looked back as a rookie. But it was supposed to be Matt Flynn's job to lose. They gave him a nice little contract too, I think for like 3 years and some change. Like good little money for him. Good little money to be a backup. Let's see, Mike says Keon Coleman is slow, but you said can move up from 700 a year projection to 800 if more physical. Oh, what a throw! Was it a touchdown though? Nope. They say he slid out of bounds. He's like he caught it, but yeah, you slid out of bounds, buddy. For Keon Coleman, his biggest thing is his mentality. I feel like if Keon Coleman stays focused and he really wants it for the right reasons, I think he can improve. I think he can improve and stuff like that. Like he can be a 900-yard receiver, get you 935 yards and maybe on a good year get you about 7 receiving touchdowns. I feel like he can have that type of season and stuff. He's got to mature quickly. This can't be about him like last year. He has to mature quickly because they're not going to keep giving him more opportunities to show maturity. So it starts for him with growth. Oh, that should be a catch. That should be a catch. I don't know what they're looking at. That should be a catch. I see Mike says he was a good coach, but need a better coach. I can understand that. Yes, you need a better coach, but promoting a guy that you guys already had on staff, do you really feel like that's the better coach, though? I can understand if y'all went out there and grabbed a big name, or if y'all were to go out there and y'all would have, got the former Seahawks offensive coordinator, just a big splash like that to where I'm like, okay, different direction. But y'all just promoted from within. Only the Cowboys do that stuff where they fired Wade Phillips that time and they promoted Jason Garrett just to go 8-8. You run the risk that this guy's not as good a coach. He might be good with the X's and O's, but he may not be the leader that y'all need. And the fact that the team likes him, that's what really concerns me and stuff like that. Because typically the coaches that are liked, they don't get the chip, other than occasionally, like, Andy Reid, that might have been a likable coach, but it took him some time to figure it out. It really took him some time. So all I'm saying is that there could be a slight regression. I agree with the decision that it was probably time. I probably wouldn't have fired him in all honesty, but I can understand the decision. I can respect the decision. But to promote the guy from within, offensive coordinator, I don't know about that. I don't know if that was the move that you guys needed to put you guys over the hump. Meanwhile, Cardinals scored. They're up 29-27 with a minute 55 here to go in the fourth quarter. So they're going to kick the extra point. We got ourselves an outstanding Hall of Fame game. We could not have asked for this game to play out any better than this. As your Mike says, I changed a quarterback or running back. Cook, Ray Davis, and Ty Johnson wanted a better number two. And so I understand that too, because I mean, I had such high hopes for Ray Davis because coming out of Kentucky, Ray Davis, he was a stud down there in Kentucky. He was really, good. So I had expectations that he would at some point develop, but my man runs like he got no eyes out there. Like it's bad. So an upgrade at the number two spot certainly would have been good because you guys are depending on James Cook to remain healthy the entire season. We'll see how that plays out. Now, Ty Johnson, he's a big help in the pass game, but I understand, yeah, better number two, that could have helped. Let's see. Mike says tight end, Kincaid, Knox, Jackson, Haynes, you say is a good three. He said a Bills receiver, DJ Moore, needs over 1,000. Keon needs to go up in year three. Shakur is great slot. I almost forgot about him too. Goddard Bell, the rookie fighting with Josh Palmer, who has disappointed for a spot 4 and 5. Hartman is the returner. So you guys have names. You have names and stuff. I can understand it. But you're right. You need DJ Moore to be on the same page, that reliable 1,000-yard receiver there. But you're going to need Keon to step up as well. Now, Shakur, he gets that underneath stuff, works the slot. I get it. All right, kick on the way. All right, no return. One thing I don't always understand sometimes the way the NFL operates when you really think about it is that for these great quarterbacks, last year it was with Drake May. Thankfully, my team has learned their lesson from that. But you see it with Buffalo when they got rid of Stephon Diggs and just left it completely blank and stuff. Like they'll let go of these big time receivers. And then it's like I never saw that with Indianapolis or with Denver when they had Peyton Manning. Every time Manning was on a team, they made sure that they had the best of the best weapons for him to throw the football to. In Indianapolis, it was always Marvin Harrison, it was Reggie Wayne, it was occasionally Brandon Stokely, and they tried to replace him and stuff, but Dallas Clark, guys like that. And then you look at a time in Denver, Demarius Thomas and company, Emmanuel Sanders. So he stayed loaded with wide receivers. But these other teams, like they're not trying to do that for their best quarterback. They're like, look, Lamar Jackson, just go out there and be great without any help. We want you to do it. It doesn't work that way. Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and Jackson Smith and Jigma was a big part of that, an elite wide receiver. And if it wasn't for them, maybe the Rams would have won. And they had two elite wide receivers. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But what does JB know, right? What does JB know? All right. Meanwhile, deep pass from King, incomplete. King cannot throw the ball. I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it. He's not going to end up on a roster. He's going to probably have to go to Canada or something like that to extend his career. Maybe the UFL. I don't know, but he's not going to be able to cut it out. They're going to let him go. And so RC, what's good? The man of the hour comes in at the last possible 2 minutes of the stream. What's good with you? I had just mentioned you earlier, man. What's good? Oh man, RC in the building. Let's see what he said here. He said, "Yo, yo, yo." Says, "Question: Is that really my boy JB? What JB in the flesh, man? JB in the flesh. That's how you know football's back. That is exactly how you know football is back. But man, how has life been for you, RC? Talk to me, catch me up, man. How has life been? And you've got King throwing on the run. Gets the completion there. As your Mike says, very good O line though. Okay, and he says no dig killed us, and so did he? I kind of forgot how things fell apart there with Dig. Samuel says, "Good, great, nice game night." And so, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I came in with very low expectations for the Hall of Fame game. You guys remember that one season that the Hall of Fame game got canceled because of the paint that they used on the field that time and stuff. So you never know what to expect when you talk about the Hall of Fame game specifically. But this, outstanding. As you might says, quarterback needs a number one, no excuses. No excuses. You're right. You're right about that. Number one receiver makes a difference. Let's see, RC says, JB, I'm about to catch up with you more next live and whatnot. You said, but I'm here with the 2 minute warning. So I appreciate you coming through, though. I appreciate you coming through. And yes, I understand that. And again, JB's next live stream is going to be next week, Wednesday, where you'll find me, you'll find Zoe, you'll find Old Man, and you'll find Nash as well coming through. And then my next play-by-play will be next week, Thursday, for the Steelers and Packers game for the official week one of the NFL preseason. Haynes throws it to the back, loses some yards there. 44 seconds. Carolina with one timeout. So that's their final timeout here for the Carolina Panthers. Let's see. RC says, JB, it's blessing. We still roaming the earth. You feel me? Oh, for sure. For sure. You're right about that, RC, for sure. Let's see. Mike says the other issue is the Bills' D line has been garbage for a long time. He said defensive tackles are mid three draft picks, including JT Sanders to play along. Undersized Oliver he's been a disappointment. That's a name I have not followed up on too much and stuff like that. In all honesty, he had a lot of hype though coming out of college. I really thought he was going to be something. And you say Von Miller and Bosa were both complete studs. That's because you guys got them towards the end of their career. It's like every defensive player wants to retire a Buffalo Bill. You guys get them at the very end. As the RST says, you've been busy all day, so you really haven't been online in about 8 hours today. Oh man, RC, well, hey, I know you put in the work there, so fuel up. After this stream, JB's gonna fuel up with some food too. Because why not? Tomorrow's Friday. We know football's back. Everybody's happy now. And next week we get to see more teams come back. All right, but third and 14 here. Cardinals up 30-27. We got 39 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter of play. King moving around the pocket. King, he's gonna run. Look at the way he takes off. Still running. 20, 15. Takes on the contact, goes at about the 15-yard line there. And that is what King does extremely well. When he was at Georgia Tech, using those legs, that was what he did. Mike says Bosa, how old is he? Oh man, how old is Bosa? Is he like what, like 34 now? I have no idea. Let's see, Arthur said, JB, real quick, I'm just trying to decide if I'm gonna funnel my Cowboys, Bears, and Fighting Irish content through a different channel. It makes sense to me. What do you think? And so, are you saying that you're gonna like just combine it on a brand new channel? Like the two of those teams? Because if so, I think that's good. I think that's good because what you'll do is you will intertwine, obviously, the football fan base rather than having to have two separate ones there. And so I think that'll be good. I think that'll be a good combination there. Without going into, too much details there. I think that'll be good. Samuel says, Am I miss you, JB? You say was football season off? And so yeah, 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 JB I spent a lot of time working on another project as well that I was hoping to finish before football season started and stuff. I wanted to dedicate extra time to that, also spend time with the wife and stuff. So I had to spend time away to refuel, but JB's fueled up here, and so I'm looking to make a strong push here. Be more consistent. That's the theme for this 2026. That's why I'm investing also in the website, which looks plain right now. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, but I'm gonna try to get a different look for it and fix some of these bugs there before I start adding some more new features to it. And again, everybody who did, sign up, via the link that I shared and stuff, I appreciate that. And I'll continue to, work on fixing whatever bugs there may be. Just give me some feedback on your thoughts. Let's see. Mike says, JB, we need to talk how I know Big Zaxby now. Hey, really? Let's see. RC says, a different channel. You said keep women's basketball where it is at right here in a new channel for football. I think so. I honestly think so. I can see the benefits of that, because you have your core loyal audience and stuff. So I can see that, I mean, there's nothing wrong if you, merge them all off the same one. But if they're used to it being a certain way for your current, women's basketball channel, and you have enough of an audience to, fully commit to that just being its own segment, then absolutely. And then the other one, focus on football there and build that football audience. It doesn't confuse the algorithm and it helps put the fans in front of you that's really, interested in those specific teams, especially that you love the show the most. And so King trying to run extends it. Did he get it? He got it. He got it. Had me doing a T.Y. Hilton there for a second, but hey, Haynes King ran it in there for the touchdown, and Carolina on the walk-off score. That's how we starting the 2026 season, preseason, but season with that right there. So how about that? Is that historically the best Hall of Fame game that we've ever seen? Wow. How about that? The final score, Carolina wins 33-30 over the Arizona Cardinals. Wow. Let's see. RC says a different channel. Okay, so I read that one. Samuel says your JB was new channel. It's not a new channel here, but the link that I shared earlier is basically this, platform in which is basically one, it keeps up with NFL news and stuff, college football as well. Then once the rankings drop, that'll update as well. But just stuff that, I'm going to be dropping in there that's for the community and stuff like that. Like you really got to check out the link, especially once I add a couple more things. But yeah, it'll be really great. Let's see. RC says, JB, I see you got a new show member, Nash. And so yeah, Nash showed up because like I was looking for someone to fill in for old man towards the very end of the season. So it was right before the playoffs. And he joined in. He did a good job. He fit in naturally. And hey, I know you saw that Nash is a Cowboys fan, so I know you're stoked about that part, RC. I know you're stoked about that. His favorite NFL team is the Cowboys, and he has told me that the team in college football that he follows the most is Alabama. So let's see. Post game. They won't even show the final score for the post game. That's crazy, guys. That is crazy work. Let's see. Mike says you like Zaxby's a lot. My wife just actually started enjoying Zaxby's like earlier this week, actually. So funny you say that. I've been a Zaxby's advocate for the last couple of years, but I love the cheese curds, Mike. I love the cheese curds. That is like a must anytime I get some Zaxby's. JB is a big fan of cheese curds, and no, JB is not from Wisconsin, but I do like that cheese curds though. Like if I see a store has it, I'm gonna try it unless it's bad. So believe it. All right, let's see. RC says, JB, I reached, let's see, 1,050. Okay, so 1.53 subs there. I see you, RC. You growing the channel, man. You is growing the channel through hard work and perseverance. So all streamers out there, don't be like JB taking a vacation for half the year and stuff like that. In all honesty, though, I'm really gonna do my best this year to be able to do a little bit more when it comes to stuff like like college. Like it's a goal now. It's not set in stone here, but if everything goes great this season, the channel starts growing again and stuff, we start getting some positive momentum and we start to see like more consistent views showing up and stuff like that. I will see if I can venture a little bit into maybe college basketball, specifically focusing on a handful of teams because I'm not going to be able to cover everybody. So just a handful of teams and stuff like that. And if I were to ever do any NBA stuff outside the playoff, it would have to be Laker focused, just to because I feel like for the NBA I have to focus on a team that I like the most and stuff like that, which is the Lakers for that one. But again, you know, preseason, we'll see how the season goes on. Lots of stuff to come through, so lots of streams will be on the agenda. RC says, okay, JV, catch you later and leave that Taco Bell alone. Hey, JV's not touching that Taco Bell right now. They got to fix their problems. That's all I'm saying. They got to fix their problems. Let's see. RC says, I'm going to hit you on Twitter or IG. RC, you might have months old messages from your boy JB down there on Twitter. I got to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it. And so, yeah, for my Instagram, though, I'm going to go ahead and put it right there in the chat there. And so let me make sure I sent the correct one because I got two here. So let me see. Let me just double check that one real quick. All right, yeah, that's it. And what is my other one? Okay, that's it. Perfect, perfect. So yeah, that's my IG right there. And so, all right, Samuel, bet. I'll be sure to check that out for sure. Let's see, Mike says, will be a W season if you do your thing, JB. And so, yes, that is absolutely the goal there. And again, I'll be live again next week. We return to preseason action. So if you guys want to come through here for the Packers and the Steelers, I'll be doing that one. But the day before that is my next actual stream next week, Wednesday. And of course, the crew, as RC mentioned, featuring our newest member, Nash, as he gets acclimated to how we do things and stuff. So, and I'm gonna try to have the website ready so that way you guys can join and do the pick'ems with us each game, each week, that way. But I got a lot of work to do this weekend to fix some of these bugs here. But yeah, and so let's see, Samuel, you said look at your post there. Okay, bet. Let me do that. All right, let's see. All right, so Samuel, I'm checking it out right now, actually. And that's the one with the freight train there. Okay. Yeah, I'm at it right now. All right, and as I have it playing here in the background for me, go ahead and get the remainder of these comments here. All right, 1 second. All right, so again, and thank everybody that came through tonight there. It's been fun. It's been real. Samuel says, see you soon later on the next live stream there. It says, see you, Samuel. Take care. And you say, I'm out, but good night. And hey, congratulations, Samuel, on being a mod, getting that promotion there on both your channels. And so, yeah, hopefully the weather stays good. Like early on, the weather crashed the stream there, but I'm glad we were able to recover. And let's see, Mike says, shout out my Twitter there. And so, yeah, let me go ahead and drop that one as well. And so, Lewis. Do my eyes deceive me? Lewis coming through. What's good? Oh man, what's good? All right, so JB about to go ahead and drop a couple things real quick here, guys, before we depart here, because I know it's been a minute. So let me go ahead and grab the Twitter link first and share that for you guys. All right, so this is my Twitter. I had to actually check myself and make sure. All right, so let me get back to the chat here. All right, so All right, so for anybody that is interested, this is this is where you can find me at. This is where you can find me here on Twitter. And so let's see. RC said, JB, I ain't seen you since before the Super Bowl of 2021. Come on now, RC. Come on now. It may have been a while, but it ain't been that loud, that long. You said the new baby is 4 months old, JB. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up, RC. Man, I really have been gone for a minute there. 4 months. Wow. Yeah, JB has been gone for a minute. Let's see, Lewis says winning season. That means you started off the season with a W, Lewis. That's what that means. Okay, so you knew the over was gonna hit. Okay, okay. All right, so one more thing real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and drop here while we're all on. And again, I appreciate everybody coming through. And again, I know I've dropped this in the link a couple times there, but just anyone who wants to support the growth of the channel here, right now I'll admit, there's still quite a few bugs up there, and I'll continue to work on that. That's what JV spends most of my free time doing. I'm probably spending about 2 to 4 hours a day now, just going through, making updates and stuff. But these bugs came up pretty last minute before the stream. So the next time I go live, it'll probably look a little bit different. It should look a little bit different. But you go ahead, create yourself a profile, and then once we get close to the regular season, there should be some stuff added there. A lot of stuff that I'm looking to work on. Let's see. Lou said, yeah, easy. The over was at 34, you say. Okay, okay. Yeah, that was awfully low. That was awfully low. You say you probably got messages from back around 2022. Hey, that's a fact. That's probably a fact, in all honesty. That's probably a fact. Absolutely. But man, what a game. This was a really good Hall of Fame game. Like from my recent memory, this has to be at the top of the list in terms of just Hall of Fame game and stuff, like from everything from the play style. Carson Beck, he looked great out there. Carson Beck looked great. And I'm telling you guys, if he looked that great consistently, the Cardinals have no choice but to implement him at some point. I wouldn't even be surprised if he wins a job week 1 because Jacoby Brissett thinking about the money too much, giving this kid valuable reps to go out there. And Carson Beck is a guy that's got composure. If you put a good offensive line in front of him, Cardinals got weapons. Cardinals last year they were able to move the ball and stuff like that. And I don't know Marvin Harrison Jr. if he's gonna take that step this year or look more of the same. I just don't know. But outside of that, Trey McBride, I haven't even said his name all day. So Cardinals, they've got pieces on offense. So if Carson Beck, he has an opportunity. The pieces are there. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Lewis says, see you next game, Green Bay. That's right. Next game that I'm going to be live streaming is going to be Green Bay versus the Steelers. I'm looking forward to that one. I mean, Drew Alar for the Steelers. We'll see some of him. We'll also see Will Howard, former Buckeye quarterback, got us to chip his last season there. So that's a lot to look forward to, guys. A lot to look forward to. Lewis says, JB, till next time. Till next time, Lewis, and glad to have you come through. I'm glad to see everybody come through. It was so great to catch up with everybody here. And this is just the beginning. Just the beginning, guys. But yeah, I know that you guys, some of y'all got work tomorrow. If you're like JB, you got work. And if you're not, then hey, you probably got plans to celebrate, right? But thanks again for coming through here. JB's going to go ahead and end the stream here, but thanks again for coming through. I really appreciate you guys showing support. JB know that I've been MIA, I've been idle and stuff like that, but doing my best here to make sure that I make it up by improving this platform because I got a really good vision of how this is going to, help with the brand of my channel in terms of just, giving back to the community here. It's just none of the features that I already worked on are working the way that I really intended for them to work. But this is my first time taking it live, so I needed to see and learn, what's working and what's not working. So thanks again for coming through, guys. Have a great night and hey, stay safe out there. Samuel, don't do anything that JB wouldn't do. And you guys take care. Mike, Lewis, everybody else, have a great night. JB signing off.